Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Orion. Got a great show for you here today with the Kansas City Royals versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. On the left, one of the best players in the game at shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. And on the right, the best center fielder in the game, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Kansas City Royals. Leading off for the Royals at third base, Michael Garcia. Batting second, playing shortstop for Kansas City, Bobby Witt Jr. Batting third, playing first base, Vinny Pasquantino. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for the Royals, Salvador Perez. Batting fifth, DHing today for Kansas City, Carter Jensen. Batting sixth, playing right field, Jack Caglione. Batting seventh, playing left field, Isaac Collins. Batting eighth, playing second base, Michael Massey. And batting ninth, playing center field, Kyle Isbell. And on the mound for the Royals with a 1-4 record, ERA of 5, Cole Higgins. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, DHing today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Batting seventh, playing second base, Cole Clutch Young. Batting eighth, playing right field, Connor Joe. And batting ninth, playing third base, Leo Rivas. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 1-2 record, ERA of 3.86, it is our guy, Bryan Woo. Now, we know the last time that we saw Woo, he gave up 7 runs in the first 3 innings against the Cardinals, but we were able to fight back and come back and win that game 11-9. Hopefully, today's start at home at T-Mobile will be a little bit better than what we saw with the last appearance of Bryan Woo. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And a little bit of an injury report, just to kind of give you guys a heads up. Obviously, with Matt Brash, he has been put on the 15-day IL, and again, retroactive till April 30th. He'll be eligible at the middle of the month, so we're going to have to find a way to get the job done without Matt Brash. And then with Brandon Donovan, rehab assignment with Arkansas earlier next week. And we were hoping that he was going to join the team this series, but it looks like the injury was a little bit more significant than originally thought. So we're not going to have, 2 of our key pieces, for a little bit of time. But again, I know we can win without those guys, even though they're very important to the team. We got to be able to pull together and find a way to get the job done. Daniel in the building, what's good? Uncommon in the building, what's good? Dank in the building, what's good? And again, we won 6 out of the last 7. We won the last game against the A's. We ended up sweeping, the Cardinals, and then, getting the job done, obviously, in the last series as well. So, again, it's not going to always be perfect. Sometimes things are, going to hit a little bit of a road bump, a little blip, like we played the Twins in the rain. The last 2 games, there wasn't any rain, and we took care of business. So, again, you're starting to see new stars emerge like Cole Young. Not only is he one of the best second basemen in the American League, right now he's already playing like one of the best second basemen in baseball. So again, Cole is very clutch, and again, hopefully he'll be able to be clutch here today. And I apologize, I don't have a Connor Joe City Connect picture because he hasn't played yet. This will be one of the first times he's playing with the City Connects, but hopefully, once he gets a few more games in, they'll have photos of him in every uniform. Now, this is a global broadcast on Apple TV, so I know not everyone is going to have it, but I'll be able to call the game here, and hopefully we'll be able to be victorious here at the end. Empower in the building, all good. All day in the building, what's good? Ben is in the building, let's get it. And again, it looks like Cole could end up being potentially an all-star this year, which would be great. First pitch from Brian Wu to Michael Garcia. That's a good start. Big swing and a miss, high and away, four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. And again, we just want to make sure he doesn't give up 7 runs in the first 3 innings like he did against the Cardinals. We're rocking the City Connects tonight, as I am myself, and hopefully Wu will be able to get the job done here. 0-1 pitch, low and away, but hitting the zone. No balls and 2 strikes to Michael Garcia. Dark side in the building. What's good? Isaac in the building. What's good? If you look at the top of the thread, it will go over that information, and I'll go over it again. Sinker 96 miles an hour, low and away on pitch number 2. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Slider 86 miles an hour to Michael Garcia. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Garcia. So, Brash has been put on the IL, so he won't be back until maybe the 15th of May. And then with Brendan Donovan, I posted this. Hopefully he'll be ready to join the team in Chicago on the next road trip. So unfortunately, he's going to miss not only this series, as Garcia gets a base knock in the right field to Connor Joe. So we were hoping that he would be ready, by this game, the first series, and then obviously he won't. And then we play the Braves as well, and he won't be ready at that point. So looks like the injury was a little bit more serious than we first let on, but we just got to hope that we don't rush him back, because if you rush him back, when you end up having hip and growing issues, it'll be, reoccurring. So we want to make sure he's good before we bring him back. Otherwise, he'll have another hiccup again, and we can't afford to have one of our best players, not available for a majority of the season. First pitch to Bobby Witt Jr. Fouls that one off into right field. Sinker, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And hopefully we'll be able to get a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout, since Garcia had that base knock into right field. Hawks in the building, what's good? Kenneth in the building, what's good? Little dribbler there. Get it, JP. Get it, JP. And dives, but can't even make an attempt on the throw. First 2 batters on at first and second. Garcia into right field, and then a little dribbler towards JP Crawford. Full extension with the dive, but by the time that he got up and recovered, no throw to second or first. Isaac's getting us started on the Dono train. Appreciate you. 20 on the Dono train. Let's go. 80 to go. Brian Wu on the mound for the Seattle Mariners, and Cole Reagans for the Royals. And it's on Apple TV. That's why if you have MLB TV, or if you're looking for the game, this is one of the couple games that Apple TV has picked the Mariners to play against the Royals here this Friday evening. First pitch to Vinny Pasquantino, high and away, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. And the one thing about Apple TV that's really dope is that they use 4K cameras. They're really the only organization or network that actually uses 4K cameras on the regular. And again, it's not like a YouTube game or one of those other networks and whatnot. And we obviously know we don't have Root Sports anymore. And I know it's a little inconvenient to have games on Peacock or on Apple TV, but that's why I'm here. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. Change up 89 miles an hour there by Wu. 2 balls and no strikes to Vinny Pasquantino. Flying Monkey with a tenor. Now we're at 30 on that Dono train. 70 to go to hit our first goal. Appreciate you. .20 pitch. Takes a strike, looking high and away. If he challenges this, it would be 3-0 count, but looks like no ABS challenge from Vinny Pasquantino. And Flying Monkey says, choo-choo, he's all over the Dono train. Appreciate you. We're at 40, 60 to go to hit the first Dono goal. Hard hit by Pasquantino, gets past Cole Young. Runners coming home. Garcia, throw home, tag him, and the throw is wide. And that hit Salvador Perez there. And it's now 1-0 Royals. So unfortunately, Brian Wu looking shaky, just like he did on his last start against the Cardinals. But remember, he gave up 7 runs in the first 3 innings. But what happened? We came back and won that game 11-9, with a 2-run RBI single by Connor Joe in the 8th and a 2-run RBI single by Leo Rivas in the 9th. So, again, not ideal, to see Wu struggle like this, but hopefully they'll be able to put it together. Flying Monk with another $10 dono. Hey, we'll take it. Appreciate you. We're at 50 on the dono train, 50 to go. And since that ball ended up hitting Salvador Perez, chances are they probably would have been able to get another run to come home. But again, a little shaky here of a start for Brian Wu. Runners at first and third with no outs. We already have a 1-0 deficit. Come on now. We got to be better. Wu giving up 3 straight hits in a row to the first 3 batters. Single, single, single. That ain't gonna cut it. First pitch. And actually the last one ended up being a double. So they got runners now at second and third with no outs. First pitch to Salvador Perez. Big swing and a miss. High and inside. Sweeper 82 miles an hour by Wu. 0-1 count. We're gonna need a double play here desperately, as long as Wu keeps pitching like this. And Perez with a hard hit ball down left field. It's fair, and just like that, the Mariners are going to be down 3 or 4-0 already. Come on, Wu, what are you doing? And just like that, Brian Wu giving up hits in the first 4 batters. What is going on? My goodness. Single, single, double, double, and just like that, 3-0 Royals. I don't think I've seen the Mariners get down like this in quite some time. Maybe if Luis Castillo was pitching, or maybe Logan Gilbert at the beginning of the year, but back-to-back terrible starts for Brian Wu. I don't know if he's injured or what's going on, but he needs to be able to settle down and settle in. Another $20 dono on the dono train. Appreciate you. Next up is Carter Jensen. Appreciate you, Flying Monk. First pitch to Carter Jensen. Takes a strike, looking high and away. 0-1 count. 3-0 Royals already. And again, I'm not used to really seeing the first 4 hitters get on base unless it was Gilbert at the beginning of the year or like a typical Luis Castillo start. But again, this version of Wu is not what we're used to. And again, he's looking terrible, just like he did in that Cardinals start where he gave up 7 runs in the first 3 innings before we pulled him. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. Settle down and settle in, Wu. I don't know what's going on. 2 balls and 1 strike to Carter Jensen. 2-1 pitch, hard hit ball, deep left field. Randy is there, and we finally collect our first out of the game. But runner tags up and scores, and just like that, 4-0 Royals. My God. And again, at least I know the offense, we're going to be able to battle with this team. It's not going to be easy. Again, they are, quite a few games below 500, but they typically play the Mariners well. But again, this is no excuse. Brian Wu is just shitting the bed, just like he did against the Cardinals. And I was really praying that we wouldn't see this version of Wu, but I guess adversity hits at different times of the year. First pitch to Jack Caglione, takes a strike, looking low and away. Slider 86 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And I assume that they watched a lot of tape of that Cardinal game on Wu, and they were locked and loaded with those first 4 batters. Single, single, double, double, just like that. 3-0 Royals. And another base knock. Cole Young is there. Throw to first, and that is 2 away. Caglione grounds out to second. Salvador Perez making his way to third. But again, if these are only hopefully the runs that he gives up and he settles down the rest of the way. 3 is usually the max that we want to be down by with our starting pitcher, not really knowing who's coming in the bullpen. And we don't have access to Matt Brash for at least 2 weeks. So again, one of our top guys out. Other guys are going to have to step up. Next up, Isaac Collins. First pitch, takes a strike, looking low and away, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. But again, we got plenty of time to be able to come back. It's not like we haven't come back before from a 2 or 3-0, deficit, but definitely not the start that anyone was anticipating here on Friday night. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Collins. One pitch popped up into shallow left field, and Rivas tries to grab it barehanded, and that scores another run. Jesus Christ, what the hell is going on here? 4-0 Royals. Everything just going Kansas City's way. Unbelievable. Appreciate that. Another $20 dono from Flying Monk. Far from the game being over. We've been down like this before and come back. And we're at home, and we play better at home than we do on the road. But definitely concerned. Is Wu injured? What's going on with Brian Wu? Is it a mental thing? Giving up the 7 runs in the first 3 innings. I mean, hell, he's pacing on giving that up again in back-to-back starts. Next up is Michael Massey. First pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees, 84 miles an hour. There by Brian Wu, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, sweeper, 84 miles an hour, there by Wu. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Michael Massey. Top of the first inning, 4-0 Royals. Yikes. But all we need is a meltdown, in one particular inning, and we'll be able to come back. But we're going to have to chip away. Takes a strike looking there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. From Wu to Michael Massey. Never a good sign when they get through 8, guys out of 9 in the first inning. Little dribbler. Cole Young is there. Throw to Josh Naylor, and that is out number 3. And you can see the disgust in Brian Wu's face. And again, normally Brian Wu is one of our top guys, but we've actually seen quite a few, have meltdowns. George Kirby overall has been the cleanest out of any pitcher. Has had a game or two that he's been a little suspect, but overall has been great. Emerson Hancock has been pretty damn good as well with a few hiccups. We know, Logan Gilbert was terrible at the beginning of the year, but is starting to get better. Castillo is absolute trash. He's bad every start. And Wu has been electric, except really the last 2 starts. And again, gave up 7 runs in the first 3 innings on the road in St. Louis against the Cardinals, and giving up 4 already in the first inning. Come on, Brian Wu, you're better than that. But also, you got to give credit, to Michael Garcia, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, and Salvador Perez. I mean, these guys are dogs. Whenever we play the Royals, it's never easy, and typically these guys play very well. Maybe not 4-0 well, but again, we're going to have to dig ourselves out of a little bit of a hole. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for Seattle. And hopefully we'll be able to get on the board with at least a run to stop the bleeding. The longer we sit at 0, the longer the uphill battle. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, ice water in his veins, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Probably going to need a home run by Cal, and maybe by hitter number 3, center fielder, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. And this is the type of game, if we're not getting a bunch of RBIs, we may need, 2, 3, 4 home runs to be able to match what the Royals are bringing today. And on the mound for the Royals, at least on the upside, 1-4 record with an ERA of 5. Now, he is a lefty, and we typically don't play lefties that well, but maybe today, hopefully things will be a slightly different here against Cole Reagans. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning, 4-0 Kansas City. We're 88 subs away from 24,000. We gained 2 subs since the last commercial break. It's actually gained 4. 84 subs to go, do 24,000. First pitch from Reagans to JP Crawford, low and away. 1-0 count. JP in the box. Cole Reagans on the mound. 1-0 pitch, low and away. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Reagans, missing. 2 balls and no strikes to JP Crawford. And we're definitely going to need hopefully a mini meltdown or a major meltdown, here by Reagans to kind of match. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking outside on the line. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to JP Crawford. Big swing and a miss there by JP, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Cole Reagans. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the first inning, 4-0 Royals on 5 hits on Brian Wu early. And again, every pitcher, no matter how good they are, they're going to have hiccups along the way. You just don't expect it to really be one of our top guys, but again, these guys are human. And you got to give credit to the Royals. They figured Wu out, obviously, based on maybe even watching some tape in that Cardinal game. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Cutter, 90 miles an hour there from Cole Reagans. 3-2 pitch, and there we go. At least we got something going. We got a walk, and the first batter will take that. And again, much better than, JP striking out or popping up on the first pitch. JP Crawford goes to first with a walk. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. On deck, Julio Rodriguez. And who knows, maybe this will be one of those games like the Cardinal game where we ended up coming back when we were down and we ended up winning 11-9 after Wu gave up 7 runs in the first 3 innings. Maybe it'll be a high-scoring affair today. At least I hope so. First pitch is low and at the knees to the big dumper, 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Cole Reagans. One-0 pitch, foul behind the plate. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Reagans. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. But for me, I don't really get freaked out when we get down by, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs. Now, if we had the team roster-wise, 10 years ago, yeah, the game's probably over. But, with really solid players, with Cal and Julio and Randy and Naylor and Cole Young being beast mode lately, playing like an all-star. It's not over till it's over, especially with the way pitchers have been this season. Definitely some have been electric, but, some have been a little rocky, including our own. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Change up, 86 miles an hour there by Reagans. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Two-two pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Cal, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Cole Reagans on the mound, and again, 1-4 record with an ERA of 5, and normally that means something, but again, the Mariners traditionally don't really do that well against lefties, even if they have a bad win-loss record and their ERA is kind of high. Every once in a while, we'll rake, against a lefty, but again, hopefully they'll be able to lock in. First pitch to Julio, fouls it behind the plate. Out of play, four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 0-1 count. But, even getting to 1, which may not sound like anything, but again, just to be able to get off the donut and off the schneid at a 0, the faster we get off 0, the more confidence, obviously, we're going to have that we're going to be able to scratch and claw our way back into this game. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, knuckle curve, 81 miles an hour there by Reagans, who hasn't really been very good this year. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Throw to first. JP is safe. Yeah, and again, it's not going to be easy, but even with the way the season has gone, we're still one of the, top teams in the American League, which really isn't saying a whole lot. There's a lot of teams like hovering around 15, 16. Big, deep shot, left field, back, gone! Julio Rodriguez with a big 2-run blast for all you Mariner fans that were worried the game is over. No doubt, no worry. Julio Rodriguez, 402 feet with JP on board, and just like that, 4-2 Kansas City. Let's go. This might be a high-scoring affair, baby. And if there was ever a time that we needed something like that, that was right fucking there. It would have been nice if Cal would have homered as well. But again, we know how hard it is to hit home runs. But again, Julio Rodriguez bringing the electricity, 2-run blast. Now it's only a 2-run deficit in the first inning. You couldn't have scripted a better comeback in the bottom of the first to make up for what Wu did. And again, maybe this will just be one of those games where both pitchers are bootios. Both pitchers are booty cheeks, and then it's just going to be this really crazy high-scoring affair like against the Cardinals where we came back and won 11-9, scoring 2 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th. So it's definitely pacing like an 8-9, 10-run kind of game, for each team. So again, 4-2 Royals, but again, I feel a hell of a lot better now. JP with the walk was huge. We would have taken a solo jack by Julio, but just the simple fact that Julio was able to bring another person in, to get us to 2, definitely gives us more confidence that we're going to be able to tie this game up sooner than later. Hell, it could end up being in the next inning or 2. Let's go. And again, Reagan's really hasn't been that good. His ERA is 5, and now it's climbing. 0-1 pitch, and a pop-up there to shallow right field. Should be a routine play, and it is. And that is 2 away. Caglione there with the easy catch. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Second deck blast there by Julio Rodriguez. And again, we have so many great players, just you don't really know how each game is going to play out. It's definitely exciting. It's nerve-wracking at times, not knowing what's going to happen and if it's going to be a high-scoring affair or a pitcher's duel with a 1-0, 2-1 kind of game. But, you got to have faith. Again, things have not gone our way, so far. So you just have to have that faith that we're going to be able to turn it around. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. And again, even as bad as we played, everyone in the American League has been shitty, except for maybe the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. Those are the 2 teams that typically had the best record, and then everyone else was floating around 500 or below. So, even though we haven't been bad, guess what? Everyone's bad in the American League. So, even with a 500 record of 16-16, that's still going to be like 3rd or 4th best in the American League, believe it or not. So, it's just a matter of time before we get above 500, even though we have a tough Royal team, even though they're 12-19, and we got a really good Atlanta Brave team coming in next. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Randy, and that is out number 3, but not after Julio with a double-decker home run. And again, thankfully, he gets the job done. End of the first inning. We have a shootout, 4-2 Royals. Now we have to pray that Brian Wu continues to not shit the bed like he did, giving up 4 already in the first. Come on, Wu. See who's up next here for the Kansas City Royals as we go to the top of the second inning. Top of the second inning, they're already on their 9-hole hitter. My goodness. Center fielder Kyle Isbell. Batting second, 1-for-1 with a run. Third baseman Michael Garcia, who's an underrated stud. And then obviously batting third, 1-for-1 with a run. One of the best shortstops in the game, Bobby Witt Jr. Trident's up. Let's go M's, baby. And a little update for everybody that just came into the stream or that's been in there. Brash is on the 15-day IL. So eligible around May 15th. That's not ideal, but it is what it is. And then with Brandon Donovan, rehab assignment with Arkansas. And hopefully he'll be ready on the next road trip. We were hoping he'd be ready today, or at least by the Brave series. But looks like the injury was a little bit more serious than we first thought. So prayers up to Brash, prayers up to Brandon Donovan. And we're just going to have to find a way to get the job done without those guys. And I know we can. Shout out to Isaac as well as Flying Monkey to get us on a good Don't Know train to start off the stream. Yeah, but regardless of record, regardless if the Royals are 19-12 or 12-19 like they are now, again, they play us tough. I mean, if you are a real, Mariner fan and understand, where we're at, in this particular season, it's never easy against certain teams. Certain teams play us really, really well, and they match up really, really well. So, again, not ideal to give up 4 runs with Bryan Woo, especially. Like if it's Luis Castillo, we're expecting it, but not from a guy like Bryan Woo. And, unfortunately, we've had injuries. We've had some slumps. We were the worst hitting team in baseball, batting 188. Now we're normally batting somewhere in the 220 to 240 range. So we've improved that dramatically. But then once the hitting got better, then what happened? The pitching started to go sideways, as well as the bullpen at times. But even with the bullpen, sometimes looking very shaky, we're number 3 out of 30 teams with our bullpen. So, again, even though it seems like it's going, sideways a lot, we're still 3rd ranked, bullpen in MLB, and our starting, staff is, more times than not pretty damn good, but they do have hiccups from time to time. 0-1 pitch, fouled off high and away from Woo to Isbell. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 2nd inning, 4-2 Royals. And we're at 70 on the Dono train, 30 to go. 0-2 pitch, low and away, change up 90 miles an hour there by Bryan Woo. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Isbell. And it's not like he's going to get 7 to 10 Ks a day. I mean, we don't even know how long he'll last, if he'll go, longer than 3 or 4 innings. But let's hope that we can get some good double plays with Cole Young and JP Crawford, working with Naylor to give him a little help. And again, I would assume maximum amount of strikeouts for Woo before he gets pulled would probably be somewhere in that 4 to 6 range. Definitely don't see anything higher than that, and he might not even hit 4, based on how he played in that first inning. But, it might be a lot of pop-ups and ground outs. But we'll take it. Any type of, out that we can get, we'll take. Popped up, and Isbell, shallow center field. Julio is there. And that is 1 away. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez. We know in the no-fly zone, he can get it done. He can get it done sliding for, a ground ball and trying to be able to make the grab. We know he can dive and rob home runs as well. Again, Julio Rodriguez always getting it done out there in the no-fly zone. Next up is Michael Garcia, one of the more underrated players on the Royals. Everyone knows about Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez, but you really got to worry about Garcia and Pasquantino, as well as Caglione. 1-0 pitch from Woo to Garcia, slow dribbler, throw to first, got him. There we go. A pop-up and then a little ground ball to Leo Rivas, throw to Josh Naylor, and that is 2 away. Much better 2nd inning than he did in the first, no doubt about that. Single, double is not what you want for the first 4 batters when you have Bryan Woo on the mound, but much better here in the 2nd. Next up, the shortstop, one of the best in the game, Bobby Witt Jr. First pitch from Woo to Witt. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. One pitch, big swing and a miss, nasty 4-seam fastball, high and inside. He tried to, get him to bite by jamming him. He does. No balls and 2 strikes to Bobby Witt Jr. But again, if Woo gives up 4 runs and that's all he gives up the rest of the way, especially with Julio giving us a 2-run jack in the bottom of the first, we can still come back. I thought even if he didn't hit that home run, the way that we've been swinging the bats, you have to hope that the pitching, figures its way out at some point or another. But obviously not a good start here for Woo again. But if he doesn't give up any more runs the rest of the way, we'll be fine. And even if he gives up 1 more, we'll still be fine. 0-2 pitch, popped up and out of play Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. And I don't know, if he's got a minor injury that he's, just fighting through, or he's just off, And again, no matter how good you are, even you can be, one of the top guys in the game like Skeens and still get rocked for, 5 to 10 runs. It's happened, so, no one is, Superman out there on the mound, throughout the whole year. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bobby Witt Jr. But with that being said, when you have one of your best guys, getting lit up like one of your worst guys, Wu playing like Castillo, it definitely is some concern, and what's going to happen on the next start? It kind of makes you wonder, is it physical or is it more mental right now for Wu based on how he pitched, that last series? But I like this second inning so far, much better for Wu here. 2-2 pitch. Popped up into shallow right field. Connor Joe is there. And interesting that they put Connor Joe out there. They've rotated Connor Joe today. You've had obviously Dominic Canzone, Luke Raley, and then eventually we'll even have Victor Robles play that position at some point before the year is over. I know they want to give playing time, to some of these guys since we're going against a left-handed pitcher and whatnot, but we'll see if he can end up being an asset in the box. But nice catch out there by Connor Joe. Hey, you give up 4 runs in the first, he gives up 0 in the second. If you remember in that Cardinal game, he was giving up runs in the first 3 innings. So, if you compare it to that last one, it's still terrible. But again, we do have a chance to be able to tie it up here in the bottom of the second, or at least maybe try to get 1 to chip away. Nice job there by Wu by not giving up any runs in the second inning. There we go. That's the Wu that we like. That's the Wu that we love. Next up for the Mariners, here in the bottom of the second inning, 6-hole hitter, DHing today, Mitch Garver. Batting 7th, second baseman, Cole Clutch Young. There's nobody more clutch than Cole Young. He's not only playing like the best second baseman on the Mariners, not just the best second baseman in the American League, he's looking like the best second baseman in baseball. And again, he might make the All-Star team this year if he keeps playing like this. I love you, Cole Clutch Young. And batting 3rd in the 8-hole, getting a chance to play right fielder Connor Joe. And again, I got City Connect photos for everyone besides Joe, because this is the first time he's played and started. So hopefully after tonight, they'll take a couple photos. And then the next time we wear the City Connects, if Joe plays, then I'll have one of him then. And on the mound for the Royals, 1-4 record, ERA of 5, Cole Reagans. Right hands up. Let's go, M's. We can battle. We can fight. It's always going to be a battle and a war, especially this year. We're 16-16, but we've really had to fight to even get to this point. So 84 subs away to 24,000. Let's get it, baby. We're at 70 on the Dono train, 30 to go. And I can't believe it. It's already May 1st. All right, we're at 75 likes, 25 to get to 100. And it's my birthday tomorrow, and I will be streaming. I don't take my birthday off or Christmas or Thanksgiving. We pretty much, stream almost 99.9% throughout the year. And, I'm definitely looking forward to a series win. We're going to have to scrap and claw and scratch our way to be able to try to get this victory. But, hopefully you guys will be able to come kick it tomorrow for the birthday stream against the Royals tomorrow night. First pitch from Reagans to Garver, fouls that one off, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball towards third base, and just foul. Knuckle curve, 80 miles an hour there by Reagans. And again, once we get to 500, after, the Brave series, which, is going to be tough. Let's not, kid ourselves. They're good enough to sweep us based on how they've been playing lately. But we just have to hope that with that home crowd at T-Mobile, hopefully we'll be able to win 2 out of 3 against the Royals and 2 out of 3 against the Braves, even though that might be tough. But again, once we can get about 4 or 5 games above 500, then at that point, we may not look back. But it still may take, 3 weeks to a month before we get to that point. Garver pops up into foul territory off first base, and that is 1 away. Vinny Pasquantino catching that pop-up. Let's look at that. Robinson Cano, D. Gordon, Shed Long Jr., Dylan Moore, Adam Frazier, Colton Wong, Jorge Polanco, Ryan Bliss, and Cole Young. Give me Cole Young over everyone. And again, and he's so young, and then once we get Colt Emerson to get the call up, it's going to be an amazing duo. First pitch is low and away. 1-0 count. I mean, we already got phenoms in Cal and Julio, and then if we have two more with Cole and Colt, Cole Young and Colt Emerson, I mean, and then having a lot of great role players like Naylor and Randy and Luke Raley and a few others. I mean, we're really starting to build something very special here in Seattle. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour from Reagans. 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Clutch Young. They called him Babyface as a rookie. Obviously we know it's a Cole world. But again, he's clutch. Little slow dribbler, throw to first. No base knock in his first at-bat, but that's okay. And that is 1 away. And 1 away turns into 2 away. Clutch on offense, clutch on defense. Can't wait to see what he does later in the game. Next up here in the 8 hole with 2 outs, right fielder Connor Joe. And again, we know that Mitch Garver, Connor Joe, Rob Refsnyder, they're not ideally our favorite Mariners, but they have actually played much better than they did at the beginning of the season. And they've actually helped us win games. And that's what's all, what's what it's all about, right? It's not always going to be, Julio and Cal coming to the rescue. Sometimes you got to rely on some of the lower end guys and the role players, and they played much better. 1-0 pitch popped up. Should be an easy inning here for Kansas City. Massey is there, and that is out number 3. So 4 runs in the first inning for the Royals, 2 runs for the first inning for the Mariners, and nothing for both teams in the second inning. Reagans and Wu settle down and settle in. And now let's go to the top of the 3rd inning and see who's up next here for Kansas City. I'm turning Julio Rodriguez tomorrow. The big 4-4. Even though I know a lot of people think I'm much, much younger than that. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. End of the second inning, 4-2 Royals. Next up, 1-for-1 with a run and an RBI, first baseman Vinny Pasquantino. Batting second, 1-for-1 with a run, 2 RBIs, one of the best catchers in this generation, Salvador Perez. Hall of Fame, probably. And batting third, 0-for-1 in the 5-hole, DHing Carter Jensen. And on the mound for the Mariners, 1-2 record, ERA of 3.86. Was terrible in his last start, terrible today, but hopefully the 4 runs will be all he gives up. It's one of our aces, Brian Wu. It's a lot of surprise this year, right? Logan Gilbert was worse than we thought. Wu has, not really pitched up to our, potential and liking. So he's been worse as of late, even though he was strong kind of early, even though he didn't get run support. Emerson Hancock pitched way better than expected, right? Kirby, is the lead dog, and he's the number 1, even though we thought maybe he would be the 2 or the 3 with Gilbert and Wu. And then Luis Castillo, we always knew he was bad, and he continues to be bad. He's the number 5 for a reason. So, Castillo being terrible, I don't think any of that really surprised anybody. Gilbert being terrible at the beginning of the year, that shocked a lot of us. Wu, kind of shitting the bed lately is shocking, but at least Hancock and Kirby, have been maybe better than expected. And we've had injuries to a lot of guys as well, including Brandon Donovan and Matt Brash. And again, it's not easy to be able to win with your top guys out, but I know we can do it. Top of the 3rd inning, 4-2 Royals. Wu on the mound, Vinny Pasquantino in the box. And thank God for Julio Rodriguez getting that big 2-run blast to, get us that much closer to tying this game. Happy birthday, Sean. Anybody that's got a May birthday, you're a Taurus. So, we're mentally strong. So, you know how that goes. I hope you have a great one. First pitch takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, popped up into foul territory and caught. Wow, Leo Rivas. There we go. But if you go to my social media and you see a photo of me, from back in the day, I got to credit my mom and my dad, with the good genes and whatnot. But nice pop up there. Leo Rivas in foul territory, right on the netting. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We'll take that. Down goes Vinny Pasquantino. And Leo waves goodbye. That is one away. Next up is Salvador Perez. First pitch from Wu to Salvador Perez. Four-seam fastball, high and inside, 1-0 count. Pitch, high and away. And realistically, even if we win 2 out of 3, it might be one of those cases where, we end up getting swept by the Braves. I mean, it's possible. So, we're not going to really be comfortable until after that Braves series is over. And then we'll see kind of how things play out the rest of the month, which it looks like we have quite a bit of winnable series. But again, if we can try to win 2 out of 3 here, 2 out of 3 versus the Braves would be huge. And then we'll just kind of see where it all plays out. But by the end of May, I think we should have an above 500 record, and hopefully a few games above 500, like 4 or 5 or even more, hopefully. 3-0 pitch. Perez pops it up, shallow right field. And Cole Young is there. He says, I got it. And that is 2 away. I love two-way players. Cole Young getting the job done offensively and defensively. My guy, just like Julio Rodriguez. We need more players like that. Just imagine if Randy actually hustled with ground balls in left field. He would be in one of those categories as well, for offense and defense. But again, defense takes a lot more effort. It's not something that you're necessarily born with. You have to want it. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike to Carter Jensen. Anybody can be a good offensive player in any sport, but to be a good defender, that, definitely takes a lot of willpower, and you have to be mentally and physically tough and want to do it to try to shut someone down. And that's why not everyone is built the same way. Little dribbler. Oh, and it ends up going right into Julio's mitt off the line drive. I thought it might end up hopping into his mitt, but Julio making plays. And again, just like this, Julio Rodriguez, he can find a way to make those catches, whether he's robbing a home run in center field or getting one in shallow center field on a pop-up. Nice job, Julio Rodriguez, bringing that electricity with Cole Young on the defense. And as terrible as Brian Wu looked in the first inning, he's been clean ever since. And sometimes that's how it goes in baseball. You suck in the first 2 innings and then you calm down. But in this case, he sucked in the first, but good in the second and the third. And hopefully that will be the only runs that he gives up. 4 is still terrible. Let's not kid ourselves, but it's much better than 7. And he's definitely going longer than 3 innings today, and we're going to need him to. All right, let's see if we can end up getting another run or 2 to hopefully get closer to the Kansas City Royals. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up in the 9-hole, third baseman filling in for Brandon Donovan, Leo Rivas. Batting second, 0 for 0 with a run and a base on ball, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Aswada in his veins. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Right ends up. Let's go M's. We need that electricity. We need that emotion. Going to the bottom of the third inning, 4-2 Royals. 84 subs away from 24,000. Let's go. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Now 83 subs to go to 24,000. And we're at 91 likes, 9 more to 100. We're almost there. This might be the best rookie class in baseball that we've seen maybe ever. I mean, there's so many great rookies this season all over the league. It's a very exciting time if you're a baseball fan. First pitch, low and away, four-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour from Cole Reagans to Leo Rivas. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Leo Rivas. And again, hopefully we can get some walks. Hopefully we can steal some bags. Hopefully we can get a couple guys to bunt, a little bit here and there. Rivas and JP definitely have the ability to do so. Victor Robles as well, but obviously him being hurt, he won't be able to help out with that category here tonight. But can't wait for Donovan to come back, Brash to come back, and I've been really itching for some Victor Robles. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. And we got a 3-0 count here to Leo Rivas, and Salvador Perez is making a mound visit, typically like when Cal does when he feels his pitcher is kind of losing that Uncle Mo and that momentum. And if we can get a meltdown, here with another walk and then another big home run, by JP, Cal or Julio, I mean, we can be right back into this game, within the first couple innings. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 3-0 pitch, and that's another walk. We'll take it. There we go. Leo Rivas having the patience in the box. And now let's see if we can get something going here with J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Ice water in his veins. Let's go. JP obviously knows that, his time is coming to an end at shortstop with the Mariner organization, with Colt Emerson waiting in the wings in AAA and the Tacoma Rainiers. But with that being said, JP overall has been pretty damn good for us. He's definitely not the top player, but again, he's a good role player. His defense usually is good. It's been a little shaky as of late, but again, he's pretty patient in the box, and he can still end up making plays on offense and defense, and I can appreciate that since this might be his last year with the club. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Cole Reagans. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Bottom of the third inning, 4-2 Royals. And we haven't seen a whole lot of ABS challenges yet, but the game is still young. Hard hit ball, shallow left field. Oh, what a diving grab. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable defense out there in left field. Isaac Collins making a play. And again, if that drops, Rivas, ends up going to, third. And that definitely is probably, a double if it goes behind Collins. But hell of a grab on the diving catch. I can appreciate great defense. Nice job there by Isaac Collins. I see you. And that is 1 away. Down goes JP with the unlucky line drive. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. First pitch from Cole Reagans to the big dumper, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Reagans, 1-0 count. Runner goes, big swing and a miss by Cal, and Rivas is safe. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Got a runner in scoring position already here. 1-1 pitch, fouled off and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Cole Reagans. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Global broadcast on Apple TV. And I know some people, don't want to spend the extra money for Apple, but if you're a sci-fi fan like me, that's the best out of any, app that you can subscribe to if you like sci-fi. And honestly, if you have T-Mobile, it used to be free, and you can pay $3 a month to get, a little bit of baseball action, if the Mariners are on. And again, I like the 4K cameras. As far as, being on another network other than Mariners TV, this is probably like my favorite broadcast. Not every announce booth is going to be great, but as far as the presentation, I like it. Pitch fouled off there by the big dumper, low and at the knees. Slider 86 miles an hour. 1-2 pitch from Reagans to Raleigh, low and away. Change up 84 miles an hour there by Cole Reagans. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out. Bottom of the third inning, 4-2 Royals. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And Cal with a little dribbler. Throw to first. And off the one hopper, he's out. But Rivas ends up scampering to third. Michael Garcia has got a laser of an arm, let me tell you. Next up for the Mariners, who had a 2-run blast in the bottom of the first inning with JP on board to get this game from 4-0 to 4-2. One of the best players in the game. It's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Julio. First pitch to Julio. Line drive towards third base and foul. And this is like the first year that we've seen Julio be pretty patient in the box. And, again, the first, 10 games, Cal, Julio, and Josh Naylor were fucking terrible, right? But again, all 3 guys have been much better, since the first 10, 15 games of the season, improved dramatically. And again, it feels like this might be the first year that, Julio has finally figured it out for maybe the first half of the season for the first time in his career. But he still has a little ways to go until we get to the All-Star break. He's batting .260 with 3 home runs, but within the last 15 games, he's usually batting in that 300 to 320, 330 range. It's kind of fluctuating. So in the last few games, 10 to 15, he has been on fire. Big home runs, big RBIs, and making clutch, defensive plays as well. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 378 average, 7 doubles, 4 home runs, 24 ribbies, 16 runs, and 24 career games against the Royals. So if there's anybody that knows the Royals, it's Julio. Big swing and a miss, though, there by Julio, and down he goes. Can't knock in Leo Rivas from third, unfortunately, but hopefully there'll be other opportunities. End of the third inning, 4-2 Royals. So we had 6 runs combined in the first inning, and then nothing in the second and nothing in the third. So again, you never know what you're going to get when you watch a Mariner baseball game. It could end up being, a nightmare from the first, second, and third, like Wu against the Cardinals, or it could just be a nightmare in the first inning, and then things start to settle down for the pitchers, and it looks like that's what has happened, at least at this point. End of the third inning, 4-2 Kansas City, and hopefully we'll be able to get to 3 or 4, and sooner than later. We want to be able to tie this game up, faster than, maybe the 8th inning if possible. Trident's up. Let's go M. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Let's see who's up next year for the Royals as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Top of the 4th inning, 6-hole hitter, right fielder, Jack Caglione. Batting second, 1 for 1 with an RBI that had that crazy catch there in left field, Isaac Collins. And batting third in the 8-hole, second baseman, 0 for 1, Michael Massey. And again, on the mound for the Mariners, coming into the game, 1-2 record, ERA of 3.86. Never really got a whole lot of run support this year. And again, has kind of shit the bed in the last 2 starts, but hopefully he'll get better. Our ace, Brian Wu. Still love you. And sometimes it's Wu pitching bad, and other times, it's just the other team hitting really, really well. And sometimes it's a combination of both, where, he's not hitting his spots, and then the players are raking it up. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 82 subs to go to 24,000. Let's go. Now, obviously, the next goal after that will be 25,000. Oh, absolutely, we could go still 6 innings. There's no doubt about that. I mean, especially if those were only the 4 runs that he gives up and he's clean the rest of the way, And it's just up to our offense to do their job, which is normally 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if we hit 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits out of our offense, and the pitching is somewhat good, usually that means that we're going to, have a chance at the end of the game. First pitch fouled off there by Caglione, right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch from Wu to Caglione, low and at the knees, slider 86 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Caglione. And again, we've had a shitload of injuries as well. So, we don't really know if Wu is dealing with a minor injury and he's just trying to be tough and fight through it. Because again, we've had quite a few players injured, already, within the first 32, 33 games of the season. So, and we know that certain guys are mentally tough and physically tough, but you can only do so much, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jack Caglione. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off, out of play, in left field. He had a growing issue, and then he had a flu issue, where he missed 2 games, and then another 2 games, and then a hip issue, and then with the growing. So he's been on the IL, the injured list, for 10, 15 games and, 10, 15 days. Which will probably turn into 10, 15 games. And again, he's going to be on a rehab assignment, and hopefully we'll have him back, in the middle of the month. Same thing with Matt Brash. So not ideal, especially when, Brendan Donovan was one of our best hitters, for the whole year, and pretty good defender at third as well, even though he normally played second and short in St. Louis. So for a guy to play a new position at third defensively, that's a big ask. But again, has had some issues with injuries and, some sickness, and, hopefully he'll be able to be, good to go once he comes back. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jack Caglione. 2-2 pitch, popped up, and it's in shallow left field. Randy is there. Thankfully, it's not a ground ball. And Randy with pop-ups is normally pretty damn reliable, and that is 1 away. But if you look at Donnie, he was like the number 1 hitter before he went down. Him and Cole Young were awesome at the beginning. Then Young hit a little bit of a wall and then slid down. And then Randy got better. Luke Raley got better. That led the team at one point with home runs and RBIs. And then we've seen Cal and, Julio and Naylor start to heat up when they were terrible at the beginning of the year. So it's going to be hard to get everyone locked in at the same time, but again, there's going to be kind of droughts, but there's also going to be hot streaks. Collins pops up. Leo Rivas is there. And there we go. That is 2 away. So after a horrendous first inning, Brian Wu has actually been pretty damn good here. After that, he hasn't really been able to get a whole lot of, strikeouts. He doesn't even have one yet, but again, if we can find a way for our offense to claw back into this and we can tie this game up at 4-4 or even be at 4-3, by the 7th inning, that would be great. Marine being in the building. What's good? First pitch to Massey, crushes it, out of play, sinker, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. But again, if you're a new fan to the Mariners, you may not be able to handle a lot of these ups and downs. But for a lot of us that have been fans since the 70s and the 80s, we're built for this. Pacific Northwest fans, if you live in Oregon or Washington, that it's not always going to be easy. Obviously this year for the Seahawks and their 50th anniversary, they got the job done. But what did they have to do to get the job done? They had to get rid of Pete Carroll. They had to draft JSN and bring in a bunch of other defensive guys. So everything kind of came together, and maybe they were a year or 2 early, and that's one instance where it kind of worked out, but for most Northwest, teams, it's usually a struggle and a battle, and you usually got to build the team for 4 or 5 years, and then they end up being championship caliber like the Huskies or the Ducks. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win the Natty when they get there, but again, we know that we have championship caliber teams from time to time, and the Sonics will be back pretty soon in a little bit, and hopefully Kevin Durant will rejoin the team, and that'll be an exciting time as well. That way you can relive the I-5 rivalry with the Sonics and the Blazers, and have the Lakers get into that rivalry again as well. Pitch fouled off there by Massey, low and at the knees, sweeper 85 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Massey. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Brian Wu. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Massey. The Blazers made a big, push this season, making the playoffs, even though they lost to Wemby and the Spurs. Kraken looked like they got a little bit better for the NHL for Seattle. So, it's definitely going to be a battle for a lot of these Pacific Northwest teams. Popped up by Massey into shallow left field. Randy is there, and that is out number 3. There we go. Wu looking a hell of a lot better. I mean, he doesn't have the stuff, where he's getting the punch outs, but at least he's getting the pop-ups and the ground outs as they show Randy Johnson there in the crowd. And, hopefully we'll be able to get a double play, if he gets himself into a little bit of a jam, which he really hasn't, since the first inning. To me, I feel it's almost like maybe more mental for Woo rather than the physical part. But let's see if we can tie this game up here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1, first baseman Josh Naylor. Let's go Nails. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 0 for 1, DHing in the sixth hole, Mitch Garver. Trident's up, let's go M's. It's never over until it's over, especially with this team this year. 82 subs away from 24,000. All right, we hit 100 likes. Awesome. Let's see if we can get to our next goal of 200. Me too. I mean, who didn't like watching The Glove, Gary Payton, or The Rain Man, Sean Kemp, or Detlef Schrempf? It's like, back in that era, the Blazers and the Sonics, we both, had a common thing. We ran into, the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And, imagine, with the Sonics, if they didn't have to battle, Jordan, they probably would have won a championship. If the Blazers didn't have to go with the Bad Boys and the Bulls, maybe they get one, and then obviously the Utah Jazz, running into Jordan in his last couple of years there, back-to-back years, but again, that shows you why Jordan is the king and, why he is the greatest. Bottom of the fourth inning, 4-2 Royals. Next up is Josh Naylor. Let's go, Naylor. Cole Reagan's on the mound. Josh Naylor in the box. Global broadcast here on Apple TV. First pitch, right down the middle with a cutter, 89 miles an hour from Cole Reagan's 0-1 count. Bottom of the fourth inning, 4-2 Royals. And again, they put up 4 runs and 5 hits in the first inning. And again, it looked like it was going to be one of those days, but Julio Rodriguez ended up hitting a 2-run ball in the bottom of the first with J.P. Crawford getting a walk. And again, we feel like we're in it. It's much better than being down 4-0, especially when you can respond immediately. 0-2 pitch. Fouled off there by Naylor. No balls and 2 strikes from Reagans to Naylor. And I'm really happy, that, Brian Wu didn't give up runs in 3 consecutive innings or 4 consecutive innings. We don't want to have a repeat of that Cardinal game. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 0-2 pitch from Reagans, high and away to Josh Naylor. Great patience there by Nails. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Reagans. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Let's go, Josh. Give me the leg kick, baby. 1-2 pitch. Mini leg kick. There we go. Into the gap. And that's a beautiful single there by Josh Naylor. And again, it's as terrible as he was bottom 2 in MLB in hitting. And we were worst in MLB as a team, batting 188, about a month ago. And we're nowhere near that anymore. And again, nice to be able to see Cal, Julio, and Naylor get better as the season has continued. Nice job by Josh with a bloop single into shallow center right field. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Let's see if we can get an RBI or a home run out of Randy. Or maybe even him taking a walk or getting hit by a pitch as long as he doesn't get hurt. First pitch, low and at the knees. Change up, 84 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on, Randy. He's due for a home run. Randy crushes it into left field, but foul. We got quite a few players that are overdue for a home run and whatnot, but at this point, we just got to chip away. 1-1 pitch, fouled off into right field, out of play. Yeah. And again, the Royals play us really, really well. It's just like, the Angels and the Athletics. It's never easy. We know we're going to war when we play the Rangers and the Astros or the Yankees. I feel like the Mariners kind of get up for those games. But sometimes when you have opponents that maybe you take for granted, and then they end up hitting you early, they'll smack you in the mouth with an uppercut, and sometimes you just don't recover. And I feel that is the way that when we play the Royals, sometimes the Angels and the A's, as Randy strikes out, and that is one away. And again, you never can ever underestimate any opponent, regardless of record. And just some teams, have our number. They play us really, really well and match up really, really well. Royals, Angels, and Athletics, regardless if they're, above 500 or below 500. It doesn't matter. They just play us well. Next up is Mitch Garver. Takes a strike looking on the line. Change up 84 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Cole Reagan's on the mound. Mitch Garver in the box. Let's go, Mitch. No problem. Have a blast there at T-Mobile. I'll be going on the 4th of July to see the Toronto Blue Jays. That'll be the only game that I miss here on the stream. Probably the rest of the year. 0-1 pitch from Reagans. Check swing. And it ends up hitting the dirt and getting away there. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. Yeah, I think a little bit, it might have been mental, but also you got to give credit to some of these Royal hitters, but again, you don't really expect Garcia, Witt, Pasquantino, and Perez all to get hits. But let's be honest, those 4 players are good. Those aren't like any scrub players. Bobby Witt Jr., probably a Hall of Famer. Salvador Perez, probably a Hall of Famer. And Garcia and Pasquantino are like good role players that if you take them for granted, they're pretty good offensively and defensively more times than not. So it's just unfortunate that they all are right next to each other in the batting order and not kind of spread out. But, that's what you do, right? You put normally your best guys, towards the top for the most part. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. Change up 83 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mitch Garver. But again, if Woo is on, and he's really feeling it, then all 4 guys, end up striking out or getting out. We've seen it before, right? It's not like we haven't seen Woo at an all-star level before he got hurt last year. So, it just depends on the version of Woo that we get. And do we actually get run support for Woo? And that's kind of been the issue, for a lot of our pitchers, with Gilbert and Woo and even Kirby with the best record on the team. We haven't really got a lot of run support until the Astro series, and then since then we've been able to get run support for our pitchers. But, in the first few games, 10 to 15, we didn't. So 2-2 pitch, high and inside, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Cole Reagans. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning, 4-2 Kansas City. 4 runs in the first for Kansas City, 2 by Julio Rodriguez with a 2-run blast, as Garver has a laser towards third base and foul. But again, everything has been, pretty quiet since the first inning. 6 runs combined in the first, nothing in the second for both teams, nothing in the third, and then hopefully the Mariners will be able to get something here in the bottom of the 4th. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Garver. And that is 2 away. Next up in the 7 hole, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, baby. And again, what an up-and-coming star, in his second season with the team. We decided to go with him over Jorge Polanco, which was the good move. Polo wanted to be closer to his dad in New York, and we obviously know how bad the Mets have been. And again, Polo was a liability on defense. Cole Young is showing that, not only is he one of the best players, offensively with game-winning RBIs and big hits, he's the best second baseman, defensively in baseball right now. He's saved the Mariners 9-10 runs already. So again, when you go to these like nerd stat websites and you see Cole Young at the top for second baseman, that's always a good sign for a young player, especially when we have guys like Julio and Cal and Naylor already on the team. Future is very bright for Cole. 1-1 pitch and fouls it behind the plate to the FanDuel sign towards the T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Young. .283 average, 3 home runs, 19 ribbies, leading the team in ribbies with everyone else on the team is amazing. And it would be awesome to be able to have Cole make an all-star game in his second year. 1-2 pitch, a little slow dribbler, throw to first, and that is out number 3. So again, Mariners and the Kansas City Royals were raking in the first inning, but absolutely nothing in the second, third, and fourth for both teams. It's crazy how baseball goes like that. You know, it definitely goes in waves. End of the fourth inning, 4-2 Royals. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the fifth for Kansas City. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up for the Royals, in the 9-hole, 0 for 1 center fielder Kyle Isbell. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run, third baseman Michael Garcia. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run, one of the best shortstops in the game, Bobby Witt Jr. Right hands up, let's go M's. We gained 2 more subs since the last commercial break. Thank you so much. 80 subs to go to get to 24,000. We're approaching 6 million views on the channel as well. Hit 5 million just a few months back, so we're definitely going in the right direction. All right, we have 106 on the likes, 94 to get to 200, and we got 241 in the room. Appreciate that, Will. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, there's never a time, you know, where really we feel out of it. I mean, again, if you end up getting down even to a game 7-0, like we did against the Cardinals, and we were able to come back and win that game 11-9, it's not over till it's over. You know, things can look bad early in a game, but remember, once the starting pitchers go out, it's a whole new ball game. All it takes is one guy from the bullpen or one starting pitcher, you know, to have a mini meltdown. And then all of a sudden in that half inning, you might be able to pick up 1 to 5 runs. And depending on where you're at in the game at that point, you know, you could end up tying the game up if you're down or taking the lead. So, you know, baseball is one of those things you just really never know who's going to be coming into the game, you know, bullpen wise. And all it takes is 1 or 2 guys in the bullpen to shit the bed. And then all of a sudden you can make a monster comeback. Even if you're down 4, 5, 6, 7 runs, it's still possible to come back and win a game. And again, you know, we're thirsty. You know, it's been you know, tough sledding, you know, for the Mariners in 2026. You know, but again, a lot of teams in the American League have been bad this year, you know, besides really the Yankees and the Rays. So, you know, with that being said, even though we're 16-16, we're still like, you know, top 3, top 4 record in the American League, believe it or not. So, you know, we just have to be able to kind of get over the hump and get above 500, which may take a couple weeks, considering we have the Royals now and then the Braves at home in the next series. But after that, it should get slightly easier. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Isbell. We are 80 subs away from 24,000 subs, so we're getting there. And then obviously the next goal after that will be 25,000. And then obviously 50,000, 75,000, and my long-term goal, 100,000. So, and I know I'll be able to get there. You know, it may take a while, you know, but I plan on doing this for a very long time. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Slider 88 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Isbell. But if the Mariners, you know, make the World Series, we could have a big jump. And if we win the World Series, that could, you know, catapult the channel to a whole nother stratosphere. So, but it definitely feels like in the next 10 to 20 years, you know, there should be a couple opportunities, you know, for the Mariners to go very, very deep. And who knows, it could end up even being this year or next year, even with the slow start for us. It doesn't really feel like there's really that many dominant teams. You know, the Yankees are the top dog. Nobody's afraid of the Rays, you know, and again, it's a big mess in the American League West, but, you know, we know what happens typically with the Yankees in the playoffs. You know, they can still have the best record in the American League, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to represent the American League in the World Series. 3-2 pitch, and Isbell fouls that one off into left field. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Isbell. Yeah, Seitzer and Edgar Martinez are still the batting coaches for the Mariners. And then Ichiro is usually there, more times than not in full uniform, still, helping the team out, which is great. You usually don't get retired players that are so dedicated. And Wu with his first punch out of the game. There we go. Down goes Isbell. Nice job there for Brian Wu. Way to get the electricity, Wu. I mean, when's the last time we watched a game and Wu got his first punch out in the 5th inning? Like never, right? But again, you never know what to expect. Hitting was terrible. And then, pitching was pretty good and the bullpen was good. And then now, hitting is great, but now the pitching is kind of going sideways. But even though the bullpen, at times goes sideways, we're top 3, in the bullpen out of 30 teams, believe it or not. So you think our bullpen can be bad at times. Everyone else is a hell of a lot worse. 0-1 pitch fouled off by Michael Garcia into right field, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Garcia. And again, it felt like, after Wu gave up 4 runs, the most he was going to end up getting is, 4 to 6 Ks if he started locking in. But at this point, it looks like he might only have a couple. But as long as he keeps this game with the Royals at 4, we should be good to go. Little slow dribbler here by Garcia. Throw to first. And that is 2 away. Good defense. Ichiro's got a house in Seattle and he's got one in Japan. But again, I mean, how many Hall of Famers do you know that are one of the greatest in their position after they're done playing? They come to the stadium in full uniform and like warm up with the team. I mean, he's like literally the only one that does that at like that high level, and really does help the team out. And again, we've been blessed, with Randy Johnson and Ken Griffey Jr., even though those are both professional photographers now. First pitch to Bobby Witt Jr., line drive to Randy, and that is out number 3. But to be able to have, Randy Johnson, come through, Ken Griffey Jr. come through, Ichiro, Edgar Martinez, those guys that really mean a lot to this organization and try to be able to help this young generation out, it means the world. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th, and let's see if we can tie this game up. Next up for the Mariners in the 8-hole, right fielder 0 for 1, Connor Joe. Batting second, 0 for 0 with a base on ball, third baseman Leo Rivas. Dropped the bunt down. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. All right, we're at 118 likes, 82 to 200. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 79 subs to go to 24,000. We're at 70 on the Dono train, 30 to go. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Flying Monk. Shout out to Flying Monk. Shout out to Flying Monk and Flying Monkey. Judah in the building. What's good? And a quick recap in the game. Vinny Pasquantino single to right. Garcia scored on an error. 1-0 Kansas City. Then Salvador Perez double to left. Pasquantino and Witt scored 3-0 Royals. And then Collins ended up doubling to left. Perez scoring 4-0 Royals in the top of the first inning. Wu looked absolutely horrific. But then Julio Rodriguez homered to left in the double-decker home run in the upper deck. 402 feet with J.P. Crawford on board at first after he ended up taking a walk with his first at-bat. And that's where we're sitting right now. 4-2. And again, we knew this was going to be tough, but hopefully we'll be able to, get to 3 or 4 here within the next couple innings. First pitch, Connor Joe crushes it. Deep left field. Back. Gone! Are you kidding me? Connor Joe, out of all people, hitting a home run. My God, making the most of an opportunity in right field. thing in the City Connects for the first time in 2026. And what does he do? He says, I'm earning my paycheck. Way to bring the electricity. 398 feet. Connor Joe, my goodness. 4-3 Royals. That's what I'm talking about, baby. First pitch to Leo Rivas. High and away, four-seam fastball, 1-0 count. 95 miles an hour there by Reagans. And again, no matter, how the game looks in the beginning, it's like that, common saying, it's not how things start, it's how you finish, right? And again, we started off terrible, besides obviously, giving up the 4 runs, but in that bottom of the first inning, Julio says, I'm going to put the team on my back, 2-run blast. And now we get another one with Connor Joe, solo dinger. Now we're only down by a run. I love it. 2-0 pitch, high and inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Leo Rivas. And hopefully we can get a mini meltdown, here by Reagans. He's already starting to have one, giving up a home run to probably our worst hitter in the lineup, Connor Joe. But it shows, when you can end up having role players come in, pitches outside, and that is a 5-pitch walk. Leo Rivas to first. There we go. But again, you have guys like Rob Refsnyder that started like 0 for 20, right? And we were like, golly, what is this guy doing, right? Connor Joe, and obviously Mitch Garver and some of these lower guys. But again, we've seen Will Wilson get a home run in his first at-bat, getting promoted from AAA. We've definitely seen Mitch Garver get some nice base knocks and RBIs. And Connor Joe, has actually come up big with some big RBIs and obviously a big home run. And that call was ABS overturned. So that strike call, now it ends up being a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas, even though it was supposed to be a 5-pitch walk, but call was overturned. Let's see if Leo can recover here. Pitch is outside. I don't know if that was a strike, but it looks like it was on the line, and that is strike 3. So you go from a 5-pitch walk, a Mariners challenge, and they lose the challenge there. And down goes Leo Rivas. That's tough, to think that you got to walk, and then all of a sudden to take a couple strikes after that, and then, you end up getting out 1 away. Down goes Leo. Good challenge there by the Royals. Next up is J.P. Crawford. First pitch to JP, low and away from Cole Reagans. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 1-0 count. .10 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to J.P. Crawford. But again, for some of the lower end guys, the role players, it's nice for them to be able to step up because again, it's not always going to be Julio and Cal and Naylor to bail us out. JP pops up to Salvador Perez at home plate, and that is 2 away. Connor Joe and Julio Rodriguez crushing baseballs into left field today. I love it. And speaking of crushing baseballs in the left field, hopefully we get this individual to crush one as well. We're going to need it. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. He's due for a home run. Come on, Cal. First pitch, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Cole Reagans. 1-0 count. Leading the team with 7 home runs, but again, still hasn't got the batting average up above 200 yet, but hopefully he will sooner than later. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. Knuckle curve, 78 miles an hour there by Reagans. 2 balls and no strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And after, the top of the first inning being down 4-0, there might be some casuals that turn the game off or, figured that we lost and the game was over. But it shows, if you stick with us and understand how baseball works, it's not over till it's over. 2-0 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and no strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And Cal typically with a 3-0 count or a 3-1 count, usually that could be a home run swing. besides first pitch, where sometimes that ends up going yard as well. Let's see if he draws the walk here. 3-0 pitch, down, low, and at the knees, and that's a 4-pitch walk to Cal Raleigh. Cal to first. Next up is center fielder Julio Rodriguez, who already had 1 home run today. Can he get you a second one? He says in the photo, I can get 2. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Let's go, Julio. First pitch, low and at the knees. Change up 84 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Cole Reagan's on the mound. Julio Rodriguez in the box. And again, we know with Reagan's, lefties, the Mariners were absolutely terrible, within the first 10, 15 games of the season against lefties, but we've been getting a little bit better as of late, which is great to see. 1-0 pitch, a laser towards left field and foul. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Bottom of the 5th inning, 4-3 Royals. We're, scrapping and clawing our way back into this game. We got a runner at first, Cal Raleigh, with a walk with 2 outs. 1-1 pitch from Reagans to Julio. Big swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Reagans. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Come on, Julio. Bottom of the 5th, runner at first, Cal Raleigh. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 4-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Two pitch. Big swing and a miss. He should have taken that pitch. But again, Reagan's with the big punch out. End of the 5th inning, 4-3 Royals. And Connor Joe coming up big with a big home run blast. And after him hitting that home run, I assume they'll have a few photos of Connor Joe in a City Connect uniform that I can use next time around. Nice job by Connor Joe. All right, end of the 5th inning, 4-3 Royals. We're clawing back. We're almost there. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the 6th. Leading off for the Royals in the top of the 6th, 1 for 2 with a run and RBI, first baseman Vinny Pasquantino. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run, 2 RBIs, catcher Salvador Perez. And batting third, 0 for 2 in the 5-hole, DHing Carter Jensen. Take a look at the stats of the pitchers up to this point. All right, so Cole Reagan's 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks, 87 pitches, 50 strikes, 5.06 ERA, so he's almost done. And then with Brian Wu, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, all in the first inning. No walks, only 1 K, 73 pitches, 52 strikes. His ERA has climbed to 4.28, which is wild. But again, he hasn't been very good in his last 2 starts. With the Cardinals, 7 runs in 3 innings and giving up 4 runs in the first inning here. But with that being said, he hasn't given up anything in the last 4 innings. So he gave up 4 runs in the first inning, and the second, third, fourth, and fifth, he's given up nothing. So he's been, electric. He just had a little bit of a hiccup, if you want to call it that, in the first inning. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Gained 4 more subs since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 75 subs to go to 24,000. We're at 70 on the Dono train, 30 to go to hit our first goal. And with almost 300 people in the room, where are we at on likes? We are at 134. 66 to go to get to 200. We can do that. Let's go, Woo. Woo on the mound. Vinny Pasquantino in the box. First pitch from Woo to Pasquantino, low and at the knees. Change up 88 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Global broadcast here on Apple TV. Love the 4K cameras. They're beautiful. I wish everyone used the 4K cameras. I mean, it even shows up if you don't even have a 4K TV. It's beautiful. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes to Vinny Pasquantino. 2-0 pitch, back, see ya! Oh my, Pasquantino crushes that ball into right field, 404 feet, a no-doubter off the stat sign, and that is a big solo dinger, and just like that, 5-3 Royals. And we just have to be happy that was only a solo dinger, and that was the first run that Woo gave up since the first inning. But again, it's hard to be clean the rest of the game after giving up 4 in the first. And Vinny Pasquantino ends up having a little bit of electricity for Royal fans there, and now the Mariners are down 2. Next up, Salvador Perez, and we can't have them give up any more with Woo. That has to be it. We don't really know who's coming in for our bullpen, and again, we won't have Matt Brash for like 2 weeks. And Brash is our number 1 guy in the pen. One of only 2 players that didn't give up a run between him and Mason Miller, and we're not going to have Brash. So definitely is going to be challenging with no Brandon Donovan and no Matt Brash. So we'll see how it goes. It just means that Edward Bizardo and Gabe Spire and Jose Ferrer and Cole Wilcox and everyone else is going to have to step up even more. Cooper Criswell as well. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike, looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Woo to Perez. Top of the 6th inning, 5-3 Royals. Solo dinger there by Vinny Pasquantino moments ago. Not a good start here for Bryan Woo overall. Again, gave up 4 in the first, 1 so far here in the 6th, but was awesome, in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But, again, the Mariners bats are going to have to bail out Woo again, like we did in St. Louis. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Salvador Perez. Come on, Woo, you got to settle down. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and another punch out there for Bryan Woo. 2nd strikeout for Bryan Woo. He's at 80 pitches, so not too many more pitches left for him. Down goes Salvador Perez. Next up is Carter Jensen. We're only down, 2 runs. Again, all we need is them to have a mini meltdown by Reagans or one of their bullpen guys, and we'll be right back in it. So, kind of similar to that Cardinal game. We were able to get 2 runs in the 8th and 2 runs in the 9th. So, first pitch fouled off there by Carter Jensen. Pops up into shallow left field. Randy is there. And that is 2 away. It's not going to happen. It's great, that we all want certain things, but again, the hitting was terrible. Pitching was great. Bullpen was pretty good, but then now hitting is great. And now starting pitching is kind of going sideways. It's like that meme, where you have the different Spider-Mans pointing at each other. It's really hard to get starting pitching, the bullpen, hitting, and defense to be all on the same page. First pitch to Leon, back, see ya! And Bryan Woo looking terrible again, and that's another home run for the Kansas City Royals. Holy hell. Got to pull them now. And now, when we got that game down, within a run, now they decide to get 2 here in the 6th as Woo is about to exit, and they're both solo dingers. It's not like we can't come back from 3 runs, but this definitely stings. 6-3 Kansas City. But also, too, if you pull them and you bring someone in, who do we bring in? It's not like we have anybody really reliable besides Bizardo. So you bring in, Gabe Spire. He could have given up the home run. You bring in Cooper Criswell or Cole Wilcox or, any of those other guys. It doesn't necessarily mean that those guys are going to be better. We got 1 guy that's reliable in the pen in Bizardo now. 1 out of like 8 or 9 guys. So Just unfortunate that Wu gave up those home runs, but, just because we pull Wu doesn't mean that it's going to go great. I mean, we've watched Jose Ferrer, look kind of shitty more than good most of the time. Gabe Spire is unreliable, So unfortunate that Wu gave up the home runs, but remember, it's not like our bullpen might be ranked third, but I only trust Pizzardo. That's it. Obviously Brash is injured now, and we're still waiting on Mooney to get back to the Mooney from last season. So we'll see what happens. I still believe that our offense can get us back in this game, but back-to-back terrible starts from Brian Wu. There's just no cutting it. Let's go to the bottom of the sixth inning and see if we can make up for those 2 runs that the Royals just got. And that's another part of it. If we had better bullpen pitchers, you can pull a starter that's doing bad earlier, in the 4th and the 5th and feel confident. But again, when you don't really have reliable bullpen players, sometimes they're going to let the starter go as long as possible, just because they don't really trust that many guys in the 10th. You have to realize that as well. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2, first baseman at Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting second, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, DHing Mitch Garver. Right hands up, let's go M's. We're only down 3. It's far from over. And again, it depends on how long of a fan you've been of this team. Again, if you're impatient and you're not mentally strong, this is not the team for you. People have been watching this team for a long time. Imagine rooting for a team, watching every game beginning to end for 20 years of your life, knowing that you had 0 chance of making the playoffs. You have to be mentally tough, and it's not over till it's over. The month just started. May 1st, my guy. And again, we're going to play the Braves, and we could get swept by them, but it's a 162-game season. It's a long year for a reason. Sometimes people have unrealistic expectations. Yeah, we were one of the last 3 teams left last year with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, but people just assuming that we were going to make the World Series this year or get to the ALCS again. We haven't proven that we can make the playoffs in back-to-back years since we've gotten Julio and Cal. We made it in 2022. We made it last year, but usually there's, a little bit of a gap in between. So, until we can prove that we can make the playoffs in consecutive years or in 3 years in a row, you have to understand it's, a building process. Sometimes unrealistic expectations some people have. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. But you can definitely tell who's been a fan of this team for 20, 30, 40 years, and maybe for some of you that have only been a fan of this team for a few. You've got to be mentally tough to be able to go through the ups and downs. It's not always going to be peaches and cream with this team. One-two pitch, fouled off. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Reagan's. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Right ends up. Let's go M's. Plenty of time. Bottom of the 6th. 6-3 Royals. We just need a meltdown. Maybe we'll get a meltdown by Mears when he comes in. All it takes is one pitcher to have a meltdown to get back into a game. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Josh Naylor. And that is 1 away. Next up, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, left fielder Randy Arozarena. On deck is Mitch Garver. And again, we don't have one of our best hitters available in Brandon Donovan, and we don't have our best, bullpen guy either. So, Haven't had Bryce Miller, haven't had Victor Robles, don't have Brendan Donovan. Now we don't have Matt Brash. It's not like the team has been fully healthy. We've gone through the ups and the downs. We were the worst hitting team in baseball, just about a month ago. Now we're not, so again, it's going to go in waves. But to be able to be good and, starting pitching, bullpen, hitting, and defense all in the same game is probably not going to happen that often. We hope it happens, but, there's always going to be something that is going to be a little bit of a setback that we have to overcome. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and at the knees. Hard hit ball, deep right field, shallow right field, over the wall, got it! Randy Arosarena, shallow right field, 359 feet. And are they going to give him the home run? Yes, they are. And that's why you got to be positive, baby. Can't be, thinking that we're cooked. Obviously, we're not, because we just got to 4. And just like that, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Nice job by Randy Arosarena. There we go. Nice job there by Randy. We didn't know if that was going to be deep enough, but just over Caglione hitting the railing, and we'll take that. 6-4 Royals, and again, when they do something, we match. And a lot of times when we do something great, the other team does it right back in the bottom of the inning. And that happened over and over and over when we really couldn't hit. And then when we started to hit, against the Astros and a lot of the series after that, it's like you get a 2-0 lead and then the other team gets 2 in the bottom of the first inning. So, it's kind of a similar type of scenario. They scored 4 in the first inning and we got 2 in the bottom of the first, right? Then we were clean for, quite a few innings. But again, Seattle has been able to put up a run in the 5th and the 6th. And just, not ideal, giving up 2 home runs here late with Woo, but at least the bats are coming alive here for Seattle at T-Mobile. All right, I can see if I can refresh some things. Pitching change. Right, Nick Mears is coming in. Nice job there by Randy, bringing a little bit of electricity for us Mariner fans here. Now we're only down by 2, making up for those 2 home runs in the top of the 6th. First pitch here from the former Brewer, now Royal, Nick Mears. High and away, 4-seam fastball to Mitch Garver, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. And I'll refresh and reboot my system if it sounds like one mic sounds a little off, so I can always go and look at that. Pitch fouled off there by Garver. Bottom of the 6th inning, 6-4 Royals. 1 ball and 1 strike from Mears to Garver. Birthday is tomorrow. I'm going to be Julio Rodriguez tomorrow. The big 4-4. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. Two-one pitch. Check swing. Did he go? And yes, he does. A little check swing there. Slider. 85 miles an hour there by Mears, the righty. Hopefully Mears will have a meltdown and we can tie this game up sooner than later. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. We had Randy Arosarena hit a big solo dinger just over, the padding hitting the railing. Would have been in the front row essentially, but bounced back onto the field, but it was enough for a home run and we'll take it. Even if it ends up just being barely over, we already know what it's like to get robbed by home runs that barely go over the wall, like in that Joe Adele game. So we'll take any home run that we can get, even if it's only a front row home run. 3-2 pitch and fouled off towards third base. Sinker, 94 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, 6-4 Royals. Appreciate that. Yeah, birthday is tomorrow. And, obviously I don't really take, days off for my birthday or Thanksgiving or Christmas. We still end up doing baseball or NFL at that time. And that ends up being a walk. And we'll take that. Nice take there by Mitch Garver. So far right now, Nick Mears, the former Brewer, and now Royals being a little shaky. Next up in the 7 hole, the team with big RBIs lately, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, Cole. He can play defense, he can play offense. A superstar in the making. First pitch, low and away, change up, 84 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Appreciate that. Somebody's got to represent for the Mariners in the fullest way, 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees, change up, 85 miles an hour, 2 balls and no strikes from Mears to Young. Especially since I've been a fan of this team since the mid-'80s, since I was about 3-4 years old, and I'm going to be Julio Rodriguez tomorrow. So, there's going to be fans in this room that, have been fans since day one, in the 70s, a lot of us in the 80s and 90s, and, even for people that are just new to this team within the last few years. 2-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young. Come on, Cole. One pitch, fouled off towards first base. 50th anniversary this season. And again, we're dedicating the season to Rick Riz. 40 plus years on the mic doing the radio. We love Dave Niehaus. He's in baseball heaven, and we love Rick Riz. And it would be great to be able to try to, send them off on a good note and go on a deep run this year like we did last year. 2-2 pitch, fouled off behind the plate. The T-Mobile Bricks. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, 6-4 Royals. I'm full-time. What do you mean? This is what I do. I've been full-time for 3 or 4 years. I've been doing this for 14 years. And a nice line drive, and it's popped up and out. That is it for Cole Young. Next up is Dominic Canzone. But I've been doing this for 14 years streaming. This is my 10th year on YouTube. And I've been full-time for 5 years already. But I used to, starting off the channel, I used to have 2 or 3 jobs and I would do this. But, again, if you work hard and, you have the right people supporting you, you can end up, doing streaming full-time. But again, not everyone can get to that. You definitely have to have skill. You have to have, a lot of things going your way. You have to know how to make thumbnails. You have to have a good voice. You have to be likable. You have to, know how to speak with, good pronunciation and enunciation. And you have to know what you're talking about, and again, it's a lot of categories that not every streamer can check off, and some people are gimmick streamers, that they'll be hot for a little bit and fade and whatnot. But I plan on doing this for the rest of my life, so there's no gimmicks here. Bottom of the 6th inning, 6-4 Royals, runner at first with 2 outs. Next up is Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. First pitch, takes a strike, looking low and away. Curveball, 81 miles an hour to Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. 0-1 pitch. Be a routine play here for Kansas City. And Collins calls everyone off, and that is out number 3. All right, end of the 6th inning, 6-4 Royals. So 2 home runs by the Royals in the 6th. We got a home run by the Mariners in the bottom of the 6th. So you had Pasquantino homering off Brian Wu. You had Caglione homering off Brian Wu. And then at least Randy Arozarena ended up getting a home run. So again, a lot of home runs today. And again, a very similar back and forth game where both teams are scoring in the same inning besides the 5th inning where we scored a run and they scored nothing. But again, we're in it. We're down 2 runs. It's not ideal. But again, we're still, in range to be able to come back and make it interesting. Go to the top of the 7th inning and see who's up next here for the Royals. Next up, 0 for 2, second baseman Michael Massey. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, center fielder Kyle Isbell. And batting third, leadoff hitter, third baseman Michael Garcia. Now we have Cole Wilcox coming in for Brian Wu. So for all the people that, wanted Brian Wu to exit, we know that he hasn't been good today, but let's pray that Cole Wilcox actually will be good. He's essentially a AAA pitcher filling in for Carlos Vargas. So sometimes he's good, sometimes he's terrible. So let's just hope that we get the good version of Cole Wilcox to give us a chance to hopefully come back in this game. Hopefully next time around that we see Brian Wu, hopefully he'll be much, much better. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. 74 to go to 24,000. Lots of dingers today. We might need a couple more. All right, 147 likes, 53 to 200. Oh, 1 pitch, little dribbler. Cole Young is there. Throw to first, a nailer, and that is 1 away. Down goes Michael Massey with the slow dribbler on the 0-1 count. And we can always count on Cole Young to play some good defense. My guy. We're just going to need him to come up with a clutch here, hit late, and he's been able to do that more times than not. Next up for Cole Wilcox is Kyle Isbell. And we just got to hope the AAA pitcher Wilcox ends up playing well here. No Matt Brash for 2 weeks is going to hurt. And it's not like Mooney has been great this season as a closer. Bizzardo has been good, and everyone else has been shaky. Spire, shaky. Ferrer, shaky. Wilcox, shaky. Cooper Criswell, shaky. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll work out. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, sinker 96 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike to Kyle Isbell. One pitch, line drive into right field. Nice job there by Dominic Canzone, and that is 2 away. Next up, Cole Wilcox, 1 for 3 with a run, third baseman Michael Garcia. Pretty good all-around offense and defensive player here for the Royals. We can find a way to not give up any more runs the rest of the way, and we can win this game 7-6. We've been pretty damn good late in games, in the 8th and the 9th, so there's still hope that we can come back. especially if they have a mini meltdown by a pitcher or two. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Sweeper 87 miles an hour there by Wilcox. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, 6-4 Royals. 1-1 pitch, high and away. Right on the line, but no ABS there. 2 balls and 1 strike to Michael Garcia. They're panning in on Randy Johnson, who they are celebrating here today. A professional photographer now, just like King Griffey Jr. Always awesome to be able to have the big unit back in the building. Was one of my favorites growing up. Watched him at USC, watched him on the Expos, and then came over to the Mariners and really became who he was going to end up being in his career. And obviously going to the Diamondbacks, doing big things with Kurt Schilling, and playing with a few teams after that as well. And Wilcox ends up having a walk to Garcia with 2 outs. Next up is Bobby Witt Jr. First pitch, low and away with a sweeper, 86 miles an hour, 1-0 count. We have a mound visit here by Cal, just trying to get the AAA pitcher, on the same page here. And, we don't necessarily need any, big strikeouts, from a lot of the guys in the bullpen. We just need to be able to get outs, pop-ups, ground outs. Yeah, if you can strike out the side, that's best case scenario. But for a lot of these guys, they may only get 1 strikeout at bat. So hopefully Cal will be able to get Wilcox locked in here. And we'll keep this game at 6-4, and hopefully we can tie it up here in the bottom of the 7th. One-0 pitch, low and away. Slider 89 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes to Bobby Witt Jr. Two-0 pitch, beautiful slider right down the middle. 88 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, 6-4 Royals. Come on, Cole. You're a AAA pitcher, so, expectations have to be kind of low. 2-1 pitch, high and inside, sinker 97 miles an hour. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, 6-4 Kansas City. And the Angels have, had a lot of restructure, over the years. If you've been a fan since the 70s or 80s until now, it used to be the California Angels and Anaheim Angels and Los Angeles Angels, and they've had a lot of individuals, that have showed some promise for that organization, but never could get it done with Trout and Ohtani together, which I know a lot of their fans were really thinking that that was going to happen. And that ends up being ball 4 to Bobby Witt Jr. Now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs. Next up, 2 for 3 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs, Vinny Pasquantino. Got to get Pasquantino out. We can't have him get another home run here. Come on, Wilcox. Can't give up any RBIs or home runs here. First pitch, takes a strike looking with a sweeper right down the middle, 89 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Top of the 7th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Royals 6, Mariners 4. We're still in striking distance. Throw to second. Oh, safe. Well, easier said than done when you have a AAA pitcher, in the game. So. The only reason Wilcox is on the team right now is because Carlos Vargas got hurt. So even our top guys sometimes struggle. I mean, look at Brian Wu today. Look at Brian Wu and his last start against the Cardinals. So sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's physical. Sometimes you got to give the credit to the other team for just raking, but can't ask for too much out of a AAA guy. So it's not like any of us could go in there and, throw it down the middle and play like a big league player. Baseball is a very tough sport. 1-1 pitch, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Vinny Pasquantino. One pitch, check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Sweeper, 86 miles an hour there by Cole Wilcox. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. And let's see if we can get the punch out here. Come on, Cole. I know you're filling in for Carlos Vargas, but again, we can't have you be the reason with Wu that we lose this game. 2-2 pitch, got him. Big punch out there. And that is out number 3, leaving 2 Royals stranded. All right, here we go. See if the offense can come alive here once again. And we'll see if we can tie this game up or at least get it to 6-5 here by the end of the 7th inning. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K, third baseman Leo Rivas. He may want to drop the bunt down. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a run and a base on ball, a walk, J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We can definitely use a big Cal Raleigh home run here in the bottom of the 7th. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Still got time. $74 subs to 24,000. We're approaching 6 million views on the channel, which is fantastic. Let's see how many more likes we need to get to 200. All right, we're at 155, 45 to go to hit 200. Daniel Lynch, the 4th, is coming in. All right, so the lefty is coming in here, and he's been pretty damn good. ERA of 0.79 so far, so hopefully we'll be able to find a way with Rivas, J.P. Crawford, and Cal Raleigh. TJ in the building. What's good? We're at 70 on the donut train, 30 to go. We're at 155 likes, 45 to 200 with almost 300 in the room. We should be able to get 45 more people out of almost 200, 88 in the room. We've gained 15, 20 plus subs already, so we still have time to be able to get a few more. We're only 74 away from 24,000 on the channel, which is great. Pitch to Rivas, pops it up and out of play, a 1 count. One pitch, low and at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike. Lynch to Rivas. Come on, Leo. 1-1 pitch. Takes the strike looking high and inside. One ball and 2 strikes to Leo Ribas. Bottom of the 7th, 6-4 Royals. Pitching the ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Ribas. Pitch from Lynch, and that is strike 3 looking. Down goes Leo, and that is 1 away. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. On deck is big dumper Cal Raleigh. First pitch fouled off there by JP. Slider 87 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Yeah, under 6 foot. .58. He's tiny. Under 5'10", 5'8". Takes a strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. 0-2 pitch, high and away. Slider 89 miles an hour. Missing there by Lynch. 1 ball and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. 1-2 pitch, J.P. and a nice base knock over the shortstop and second baseman's head, and it dribbles into center field. There we go. Nice job by J.P. Crawford. Tying run is aboard. Ice water in his veins, baby. We know Colt Emerson is going to be taking his job at some point in the near future. A nice job by J.P. Crawford. Next up here by big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's see if Cal can get a home run here and tie this game up. Come on, baby. 1-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. Slider 85 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. One pitch. Low and at the knees. Change up 86 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike to the big dumper Cal Raleigh. That's crazy, and no team has even gotten really that close to that, 116, win season in 2001. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make it to the World Series or win it, but still an accomplishment, to say the least. Pitch fouled off there by Cal, high and away. Countdown is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes for the runner at first, J.P. Crawford, with 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, 6-4, Kansas City. Come on, Cal. Even having a single swing and, getting on with a single or double here would be great. Obviously, home run would be best case scenario, but. And a single swing ends up having a dribbler that goes towards third base and foul. Change up, 86 miles an hour there by Daniel Lynch the fourth. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first. J.P. Crawford with 1 out. Come on, Cal. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And then another laser hit towards third base and foul. Another changeup, 85 miles an hour there by Lynch. 3 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Come on, big dumper. Daniel Lynch the fourth on the mound. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh in the box. Keep grinding, Cal. This inning going. Pitch popped up and behind the plate. Fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Lynch. Count still remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. And no one will ever forget that 2001 season because that was Ichiro's rookie year. If we don't have Ichiro, we don't even get to that number. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Cal. That is 2 away. Julio had the big home run with J.P. Crawford on board in the first inning, and we may need him to do it again. Let's go. In the 3-hole center fielder, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Now, he's not going to come up big every time we have a runner in scoring position, on base. But if there was a time that we really needed him to come up big again, it would be here. First pitch, big swing and a miss. Sinker, 96 miles an hour by Lynch. 0-1 count. 56 average, 3 homers, 14 ribbies, 1 for 3 with a 2-run blast in the first inning. But in the last 15 games, he's batting over 300. So much better than obviously in the first 10 games of the season, where him, Cal, and Naylor were terrible. But they all 3 have gotten much better since then. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Sinker, 95 miles an hour there by Lynch. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Let's see if we can get a single, double, or home run here out of Julio. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball, deep center field, back, gone! You ask for the home run, you get the home run. Let's go. Parody and sports repeats itself. J.P. Crawford was on base in the first inning. Julio hit a home run. J.P. Crawford is on base again. What happens? Julio Rodriguez with another home run. He's got 2 fingers up, 2 home runs today. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 6-6. We're tied, baby. Let's go. Way to bring the electricity, Julio Rodriguez. It's not over till it's over. And again, it's not often that we hit, 2 home runs with a single player this season. It's rare, but again, if there was a game that we needed it, it was right here. And look, he's going to take a picture with the police officer there in the dugout. I love it. Nice job, J-Rod. First multi-homer game of the season. 0-1 pitch to Naylor, fouls that one off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Lynch to Naylor, and it shows you, even when you're down 4-0, and everyone says, oh, you're cooked, the game is over. Well, you think, oh, we're cooked and everything is done. You obviously aren't really a fan of this team or understand how this team works. And again, things can look bad, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And again, Julio coming up big, and that's not going to happen every game. But again, if you believe in this team, and again, with the talent that we have, arguably we have probably the most talented team in the American League, besides the Yankees. So it's just about producing and being consistent. 1-2 pitch, popped up by Naylor, and that will be out number 3. And again, as long as we have studs like Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez and up-and-coming star Cole Young, and most of the time reliable guys like Naylor and Randy and guys like Luke Raley and Canzone that are streaky, you just never know, and again, all you need is just a mini meltdown, by one of their pitchers, and you can be down 4, 5, 6, 7 runs, like I said at the beginning of the game, where some of y'all thought the game was over when we were down 4-0, and again, it shows that you're either a new fan, or you've been a fan of this team, and again, you have to have faith. Obviously it's not what we wanted starting off 16, especially when we were one of the last 3 teams left last year with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. But again, not everything that you want in life is going to happen. Sometimes there's going to be speed bumps in the road, and you got to be able to adjust. And we've had injuries, we've had poor hitting, worst hitting team in baseball, but we recovered. Our pitching has been sideways with a few guys that have been reliable, like with Wu and obviously Logan Gilbert. We didn't expect them to be this shitty, early in the year, but we didn't expect maybe Kirby and Emerson Hancock to be this good. We all knew Castillo was going to be garbage, right? And then obviously we didn't assume Donovan was going to get hurt. We didn't think Mooney was going to be terrible. We didn't think Brash was going to get hurt, but again, even down 4-0 in the first inning, look at that, 6-6, we're tied up. And, honestly, I'm not surprised. Again, you just have to have that faith. And it's a nice job there by Julio Rodriguez in his first multi-homer game. And again, on May 1st, when we end up having a tough series against the Braves next, who are just as good as the Dodgers, the Padres, the Reds, and the Yankees, we could get swept by the Braves. So we need to try to do as much as we can here, and hopefully we'll be able to find a way to win this game 7-6, or maybe we get a few more runs even than that. Let's go to the top of the 8th inning, and now the game is tied. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Never lose faith. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run, 2 RBIs and a K, catcher Salvador Perez. Batting second in the 5-hole, DHing Carter Jensen. And batting third in the 6-hole, right fielder Jack Caglione. Confidence up. Let's go, M's. And I put Julio on the thumb for a reason, baby. I had a feeling that he'd be good today. And he hits not only one home run, but two. And not only that, they weren't solo dingers. He hit two-run jacks. And again, if he doesn't do that, be real, we probably don't win this game. So, again, it's huge. And again, we still have, a little ways to go. But again, we're as good as anybody in baseball, even though our record may not say so. But again, with the talent that we have, we just have to be able to be optimistic and not be negative. Now we got Jose Ferrer in the game, and we know sometimes Jose Ferrer will be good, and sometimes he'll be terrible. So let's just hope this is the good version of Ferrer. First pitch to Perez, fouls that one off behind the plate. Sinker 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count. So that 1.84 ERA by Ferrer is kind of deceiving, because even though, Ferrer's ERA may be low, if you actually watch the games, he's actually been not the greatest, player. And again, we traded Harry Ford for him. So we're kind of hoping that this would be a better player, a Gabe Spire type or better, but line drive into deep center field. It drops. Get it. Julio drops it. Randy picks it up. And of course, it's a lob. And Salvador Perez is slow as anybody in baseball, ends up getting a double out of that. And again, it looks like we got the bad Ferrer. Nice job there by Salvador Perez. Next up is Carter Jensen. And again, hopefully we get a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. And again, normally we're pretty good out there in the outfield, but Julio tried to scoop it, missed it. And again, Randy getting the ball from the outfield is a nightmare. Yeah, Cade is killing it. Sloan has been doing pretty good. Colt Emerson, has been hitting home runs and making defensive, web jams. So our farm is in a good shape. First pitch to Carter Jensen, fouls that one off, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, little dribbler over Ferrer's head, throw to first, and that is one away. Salvador Perez scampers to third. We have to make sure that they don't score. We got to keep this game 6-6 so that way we can take the lead and not look back. Next up, right fielder in the 6-hole, Jack Caglione, and we have to make sure that this isn't a sac fly. Obviously, that's what they're going to be going for. That or obviously a big home run or big RBI. And now Thomas is coming into the game to pinch hit. Thomas. Lane Thomas pitching for Caglione. First pitch, big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Ferrer on the mound. Lane Thomas in the box, pitch hitting here. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ferrer to Thomas. And a little blooper that goes into the outfield, and that's going to bring in a run. And the Royals retake the lead, 7-6. And it shows you, Woo isn't good. But again, our bullpen is, with our best bullpen pitcher and Matt Brash not available for 2 weeks, there's going to be, some miscues, and there's definitely going to be some big runs by the other team. I mean, I trust Bizzardo, and that's it. I don't trust anybody else in the bullpen besides him. So it's, besides that, you got to hold your breath. Next up is Isaac Collins. Yeah, but Randy is terrible, Gentle. I mean, have you watched him in left field taking ground balls? He's probably the worst in baseball. You know, he never hustles, and when he gets the ball, he just lobs it, you know. But again, pop-ups, he's good, you know. But again, anyone that actually watches the Mariners on a regular basis, Randy is fucking terrible. He's one of the worst in ground balls in baseball, you know. And again, singles turn into doubles, doubles turn into triples when it goes to him on a ground ball. I mean, it's facts. It's not just me having an opinion. It's just, if you watch the games, you'll notice it too. And it's game in and game out, not like once in a while, honestly. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Isaac Collins. I hope so too. Appreciate you. $10 to go to our Dono goal. Appreciate you. And we have obviously the birthday stream tomorrow, turning Julio Rodriguez tomorrow, the big 4-4. And I will be live here on the channel, and hopefully we'll be able to hit some goals with the likes and subs and donos and shares. And ultimately, we hope that the Mariners win, right? That's what I would want for, a birthday wish. So 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Collins, and that is 2 away. And that's obviously the good Jose Ferrer when we can end up getting an out. And now we have Michael Massey. We're at 90 on the Dono train, 10 more to hit the goal. Next up in the 8-hole, second baseman, Michael Massey. Little dribbler and a little run and gun works for them. Runner pumps the brakes at third. We can't give up any more than this. I mean, like I said, we're down already a run. It's like as soon as they take the lead, we have an emotional inning and we come back. I mean, the Mariners have scored runs in 3 straight innings. And now we're going to have to do it again in 4 straight innings to catch up. And, hopefully they have a mini meltdown with their pitchers as well. But Massey taking advantage of a hit and run opportunity right in the gap. JP Crawford out of position. And now we have runners at first and third with 2 outs. And again, this is the type of shit that we're going to have to deal with, with Cole Wilcox, Jose Ferrer, Gabe Spire, Cooper Criswell, especially not having Matt Brash, who's on the injured list for 2 weeks. Not ideal. And then when we are ahead and we have to have Mooney in the game, it's not like he's been great this year. Mooney has been good like 1 out of every 3 or 4 outings. So could be tough sledding for a couple weeks until we get Brash back. But we got to, have that blind faith that we can come back with the bats. 1-0 pitch, fouled off. Behind the plate there by Kyle Isbell. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners on the corners at first and third and 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning, 7-6 Royals. And again, it's been an emotional game where we gave up 4 runs in the first inning, came back and got a 2-run blast by Julio and made it 4-2. Then nothing for 3 innings. And now a slow dribbler towards first, throw to second for the force out. And that is out number 3, but not after. They end up getting a run in the 8th. And now we're down by a run. And hopefully, we have the right bats to come alive here to be able to tie this up or to win the game. Got to have that faith. And again, it's like, I wish that I could personally trust, people other than Eduard Bizardo. And that's kind of, a crazy thing to say. I trust one guy out of the 8 or 9 that we have in the bullpen. But I mean, it's based off consistency and trust, right? When you watch these games, game in and game out, with me, and you're watching every pitch and every out, it's not like I'm making things up. It's either guys are trustworthy or guys aren't. And unfortunately, a lot of the guys aren't. But even with that being said, we're top 3, out of 30 teams in the pen. So even though we have a lot of guys aren't really trustworthy, we're still better than a lot of other teams. But again, got to find a way to dig deep here again. We've scored a run in the 5th, a run in the 6th, a 2-run blast by Julio again in the 7th inning. He did it in the 1st with JP Crawford on board, did it twice. But again, we're going to need another miracle here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners, and let's see if we can dig deep and tie the game up, or let's fucking take the lead. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI, and 2 Ks. Has a home run in this game. We said he was overdue. Got one. Left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and a K, DHing Mitch Garver. Depending on who they have pitch, we'll see if they make a change there. And batting third, it's our guy in the 7-hole, second baseman, Cole Clutch Young. And again, it hasn't really done a whole lot yet, but maybe this will be the at-bat that he helps us win the game. He's done it before. And they're going to bring in Strom in the game. Matt Strom coming in. Strom is a lefty, so obviously they're going, lots of lefties against us. They're trying to be able to, win the game based off our weakness. Reagans, Mears, Lynch, and Strom. So 3 out of the 4 have been lefties so far, and that's not by coincidence. All right, Matt Strom. Look at the beard. Look at the hair. He's got it all. But hopefully he has a meltdown here. We need it. First pitch to Randy Arosarena, high and inside, 1-0 count. Randy is 1 for 3 with a home run today. Mike in the building, what's good? Four-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour there by Strom. One of the best beards in baseball. 1-0 pitch, high and away. I like this. Little mini meltdown here by Strom. If they're going to go 3 out of 4 pitchers left, and they know we struggle with lefties traditionally, but we've gotten better, lately against lefties slightly. Royals challenge and lose the challenge. They have 1 challenge remaining. 2 balls and no strikes to Randy Arosarena. Yeah, but they always are scrappy against us, regardless if they're 12-19 or 19-12. It's not easy when we play this team. Same thing goes when we play the Angels and the Athletics. There are certain teams that we get up for, like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. 2-0 pitch in there for a strike. Like when we play the Rangers, typically the Astros, the Yankees, we're going to bring it, but again, sometimes when you play, other teams that maybe you're not, going to get up for as much and you maybe take them for granted, then they hit you with an uppercut early and sometimes you don't recover. And that's what happens sometimes with the Angels, the Athletics, and this Royal team. They play us and match up with us very well, regardless of record. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. 2-2 pitch. And that is strike 3 looking. Down goes Randy. And that is 1 away. And considering they got potentially 2 Hall of Famers on the team with Salvador Perez and Bobby Witt Jr., even though he's early in his career. But, if he, keeps up, the play that he has, there's a good chance that, they'll be in the Hall of Fame. And Randy challenges that pitch, which he shouldn't have. It was right down the middle, and now we're out of challenges. What are you doing, Randy? It's bad enough that you struck out. Why are you using a challenge on a pitch that was in the middle? Good frame job there by Perez, but not a chance in hell that you were going to overturn that. All right, next up is Mitch Garver. We need a little bit of love here. We need Mitch to get on with a single, and then maybe Cole can be clutch like he normally is and find a way to tie this game up or win the game. First pitch is high and away to Mitch Garver, 1-0 count. Come on, M's, try to dance up. Pitch inside, low and at the knees with a cutter, 86 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes to Mitch Garver. It's about time for the Mariner Moose to come out. It always gives us good luck, and hopefully it'll give us the luck that we need here in this inning. 2-0 pitch to Garver. Inside, here we go. 3 balls and no strikes to Mitch Garver. Mitch gets on, Cole Young gets an RBI. Boom, we tied the game up. Let's go. Pitch or 3-0 pitch, high and away, and that is a 4-pitch walk. Here we go. There we go. Mitch Garver getting on base with a 4-pitch walk, and now one of the most reliable players on the Mariners lately, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. He's 0 for 3 today. He doesn't go 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 often, and again, if there was a time that we needed him to step up here, obviously like Julio did today with 2 two-run jacks, let's see if Cole can be a hero again late in a game. Come on, Cole. Cole pops it up. Damn it. Shallow right field. And it's caught. Damn. I was hoping that would drop. And that is 2 away. And now filling in for Connor Joe on the previous at-bat, Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. Rayleigh is pinch running at first. Come on, baby. Canzone is due. Let's go, Dom. The Italian Stallion. He's due for a home run. Rayleigh is running for Garver. Come on, Dom. First pitch to Canzone. High and away. 1-0 count. Bottom of the 8th inning, 7-6 Royals. Runner at first with 2 outs. They've gone with 3 lefties today out of 4 pitchers. So, they definitely are being calculated and trying to beat us here. And we're going to have to fight through the emotions here again. 1-0 pitch to Canzone from Strom. Big swing and a miss. High and away. Sinker at 91 miles an hour there by Strom. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. We need a Dom bomb, baby. Come on, Canzone. One pitch. And a laser towards first base and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Come on, baby. RBI or home run, or just a single or double to keep the inning alive. Come on, Dom. 1-2 pitch from Strom. Big swing and a miss. And that is strike 3. Shit. All right, we're down to 1 inning, and hopefully they don't score any more, and we're going to have a miracle in the bottom of the 9th, but we have to go to the top of the 9th first and hopefully keep them at a 7-6 lead. If it goes more than 1 run, I'm not going to say it's for sure over, because we have been able to get, 2 or 3 runs in the 8th and the 9th before, but realistically, based off the flow of this game, it kind of feels like if they score even 1 more run, chances are we're not going to be able to come back. We might be able to get a run ourselves, but asking for 2 or more in the 9th would be a lot, but you never know. All right, let's go to the top of the 9th inning and see who's up next here for the Royals. Next up for the Royals, 1 for 3 with a run and a base on ball. Third baseman, Michael Garcia. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run and a base on ball. Shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. And batting third, 2 for 4 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a K. First baseman, Vinny Pasquantino. So they got their 1, 2, 3 hitters up here. And with no Matt Brash, what are we going to do? We had Wu, who was not good. Wilcox came in and, was good. And then Ferrer came in and obviously gave up a run. So, and they're going to go with the newbie, Hoppy. And we'll see how this goes. This could end up being a nightmare, and hopefully Hoppy ends up being okay. But, struck out his first 2 batters and then had a meltdown when we brought him in. So, and this is the type of shit that happens when you have your best guy in the pen injured in Matt Brash. So hopefully we get a good outing out of Alex Hoppy. Just got the call up from AAA like a week ago. All right, AAA pitcher, just like Cole Wilcox, Alex Hoppy. I mean, he's got some stuff, but again, he's really raw. So we'll see if he can hit the strike zone or not. First pitch to Michael Garcia in there for a ball, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, right down the middle for a strike to Michael Garcia. 1 ball and 1 strike. With nobody on and no outs, top of the 9th inning, 7-6. Royals up by a run, and it's definitely been a war here today. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Alex Hoppy, the AAA pitcher just coming in for the first time today. Second start out of the pen, and Michael Garcia in the box. 2-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Sinker, 95 miles an hour there by Alex Hoppe. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Michael Garcia. And we're really going to need Hoppe and a lot of the other guys to step up in Brash's absence. You know, unless at some point we end up calling up Kate Anderson or something. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And a punch out there for Alex Hoppe. Nice job. Next up is Bobby Witt Jr. On deck is Vinny Pasquantino. Let's go, Alex Hoppe. First pitch, low and at the knees, low and away. Slider, 88 miles an hour there by Hoppe, 1-0 count. I mean, I want to see Ryan Sloan get called up sooner than later. I want Kate Anderson to get called up. You know, we're still waiting on Bryce Miller, even though he's had a few starts there, on AAA. You know, but again, we don't really know what he's going to look like when he comes back. But Castillo, if we move him into the pen, that's not necessarily going to be an asset. That'll be kind of a liability. Little check swing, out, and they say it's a foul ball. You know, obviously it will be better to have Castillo in the pen rather than being a starter. But if you put him in a game, I mean, do we really trust him? Like if he pitches in a starting role, he might give up 5, 6, 7, 8 runs. But if he ends up being in the bullpen, what's Castillo going to give up? 1 to 3 runs in an inning? Like, it's not going to really be that much better. But I guess we just have to live with who we have for the time being, and we'll see what they do. 1-2 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bobby Witt Jr. But the dumbest thing that they could do is send Hancock back down when Miller is up and ready to go. And, Emerson has been one of the top guys, with Kirby. So, we'll really see how smart Dan Wilson really is. Little blooper into right field and foul. But there's no way that you can send, Hancock to AAA after he's been one of the best guys. So, even though he is filling in for Miller, but, if anyone deserves to go to AAA or the fucking bullpen, it's Castillo. He's fucking terrible. And he's been terrible for a few years now. He used to be our 1, but he's a 5 now, and there's a reason where he's a 5. I honestly think if Kate Anderson got called up, he'd be better than Castillo right now. I know he's raw and he's young, but he looks better to me than Castillo at this point. 2-2 pitch, and that is strike 3. There we go. First 2 batters. Nice punch out there by the AAA pitcher, Alex Hoppe. Nice job. Down goes Michael Garcia, who's a crafty hitter. Down goes the future Hall of Famer, Bobby Witt Jr. Strike looking. See ya. Next up is Vinny Pasquantino. Let's see if he can strike out the side. And this might be the one bright spot is Hoppe in the bullpen when Brash is out. If he can continue to be, this version of Hoppe, they had him go 2 innings and that was too much for him last time and had a meltdown. But if he just pitches 1 inning, he might be able to get, 2 or 3 punch outs almost every time that he's up, and that would be huge since Brash is going to be out for a couple weeks. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Man, he looks nasty out there. Slider, 88 miles an hour. He's locked in. No balls and 2 strikes to Vinny Pasquantino. And when's the last time a Mariner bullpen pitcher struck out the side? It's been a minute. Even guys like Bizzardo and Brash don't do it that often. Hoppe's got a chance. 0-2 pitch. Woo. High and away, and Cal gets it in the tip of the mitt. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Vinny Pasquantino. But again, if there, was a bright spot, for the bullpen, it might be Alex Hoppe. It's looking like it. 1-2 pitch. Got him! Wow! 3 batters, 3 strikeouts, and it's not just the 3 bottom guys. He struck out at the top of the order. How many bullpen guys could do that? Even Bizzardo, Brash, and Andres Munoz would have a hard time striking out Garcia, striking out Bobby Witt Jr., and then striking out Vinny Pasquantino. Wow. Amazing. Striking out the side. AAA pitcher Alex Hoppe. This might be an omen for us. There we go. So now we're only down a run, and let's see if we have the right batters to make a comeback here. See if we can tie this game up 7-6 to 7-7, or if we can get 2 runs and win this game in the bottom of the ninth, 8-7. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Mariner Moose is out. Leading off 0 for 2 with a base on ball, 2 Ks. Third baseman, Leo Rivas. You have to drop the bunt down. Do it. Batting second, 1 for 3 with 2 runs and a base on ball. Ice water in his veins, J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 0 for 3 with a base on ball and 2 Ks, Cal Raleigh. And then maybe if somebody gets on and we can get to Julio, maybe he can be the hero. I mean, he's already got 2 two-run jacks today. Could he end up being the hero with a game-winning RBI? Maybe. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We have a chance. But I like what I'm seeing out of Hoppy. Again, he struck out 2 batters and then had to go another inning, and then he had a meltdown and was terrible. But if you only pitch him for just 1 inning, he's going to get you, it seems like, 2 or 3 punch-outs. And again, I don't think we've seen a bullpen pitcher, even Brash and Bizzardo. They'll do it once in a while, but for this guy to start off his career looking that good by pitching just 1 inning, that's definitely a bright spot. And we're going to need it with Brash out for 2 weeks. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Gained 7 subs since the last commercial break. 67 subs do 24,000. All right, we're at 190 likes. We got 427 in the room. We need 10 more to get to 200. We can do that. So if you are in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And we're at 90 on the Dono train. 10 more to get to our goal of 100. First pitch from Urseg to Rivas, high and away, 1-0 count. We just need a meltdown here by the Royals and we'll be good to go. One 1-0 pitch, fouled off behind the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. Lucas is on the mound here for the Royals, the righty. 1-1 pitch, high and away. One ball and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. Pitches in the zone there with a sinker. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Lucas Urseg on the mound. Leo Rivas in the box. Come on, Leo. We need you to get this rally going. Captain with a tenner to get to our goal. Appreciate you. Bottom of the ninth, 7-6 Royals. Pitch is low and at the knees. Good patience there by Leo. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Appreciate you, Captain. That puts us at a hundo. Next goal, 2 hundo. Bottom of the ninth, 7-6. We're down by a run. 3-2 pitch to Rivas. Rivas pops it up. Should be an easy play here in foul territory for the Royals. Michael Garcia is there, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, shortstop J.P. Crawford on deck, Cal Raleigh, and somehow, some way, hopefully we can get to Julio. 2 two-run blasts today with J.P. Crawford on base both of those times. First pitch to J.P., big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. And it shows you the Mariners are a much better hitting team since that Houston Astros series. But after the, hitting went from worst in MLB to pretty good, now the pitching has, cost us, some ball games as well as our bullpen. But Hoppy definitely looks like he could be a saving grace for us. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford as he calls time. Come on, M's. Trident's up. Let's go, Seattle. 0-2 pitch. High and away. Good patience there by JP. 1 ball and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. I wish Randy didn't waste our last ABS challenge, on something right down the middle. We could possibly use that here in the bottom of the 9th, but we don't have the ability now. 1-2 pitch. JP crushes it into left field, fading out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Urseg to Crawford. Bottom of the 9th inning, Royals hanging on to a 1-run lead, but we need JP to get on. Lucas Urseg on the mound. JP Crawford in the box. Come on, JP. 1-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. Brutal. Down goes JP. Now we're down to our last out. We got to find a way for Cal and Julio to be able to tag team the situation here and hopefully be able to get on base with Cal and maybe Julio to get a big home run or RBI. Unless Cal, hits a home run here, he definitely is overdue. Or maybe back-to-back home runs by Cal and Julio. You never know. First pitch to Cal. Fuck, he pops it up. Should be easy here for the Royals. And that is ball game. Shit. Final score, Kansas City Royals 7, Seattle Mariners 6 after 2 two-run jacks from Julio Rodriguez. It's just not enough. And it really does show you how important the bullpen, truly is. And again, Brian Wu, not a good outing. And then, obviously, with Wilcox, he did a good job, but Jose Ferrer costing us another game between him and Brian Wu. Wilcox was good. Hoppy was phenomenal with 3 punch-outs on 3 batters. But sometimes all it takes is your starting pitcher and one guy in the pen to have a little bit of a hiccup. And again, we fought like hell to try to come back, but it just wasn't enough. But I still feel that we can win this series. Lately we've been dropping the first game, and I still think that we can win tomorrow on my birthday and on Sunday. And again, if we can win, the last 2, we can still find a way to get above 500. We dropped to 16 and 17 now. And let's go over the stat line here real quick. Lynch gets the win. Ferrer gets the loss. Don't like Ferrer whatsoever. Urseg gets the save. And let's go over the stats here really quick for both. All right, Michael Garcia going 1 for 4 with a run. Bobby Witt Jr. 1 for 4 with a run as well. Vinny Pasquantino with a great game, 2 for 5 with 2 runs, a home run, and 2 ribbies. One of the reasons why they ended up winning this game. Salvador Perez, again, another big game, 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs, a stud, as usual. Carter Jensen going 0 for 4. Jack Caglione going 1 for 3. Isaac Collins going 1 for 4. Michael Massey going 1 for 4. And Kyle Isbell going 0 for 4. And then with Cole Reagan's 5.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 8 Ks, 95 pitches, 56 strikes. And let's go with the Seattle Mariners here. JP Crawford going 1 for 4 with 2 runs, had a good game. Cal Raleigh, another, game of going 0 for 4. And, how many games can we have Cal going 0 for 4, 0 for 5 at some point? He needs to modify his swing or change up a routine. Julio Rodriguez, 2 for 4 with 2 runs, 2 home runs, and 4 RBIs. He was the hero for Seattle that got us close. But again, when you have Wu and Ferrer blowing games, it's hard to come back. Josh Naylor going 1 for 4. Randy Arosarena, 1 for 4 with a run and a home run and an RBI. He was definitely overdue. Good to see him home run. Mitch Garver going 0 for 2. A rare Cole Young 0 for 4 appearance, and he won't go 0 for 4 tomorrow. Connor Joe, 1 for 2 with a home run and an RBI. That was kind of a bright spot for us. And then Leo Rivas going 0 for 3. And then obviously we know Dominic Canzone ended up coming into the game and going 0 for 2. See the stat line obviously here. Brian Wu, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, no walks, 2 Ks, 84 pitches, 60 strikes. And again, you can't win games, when one of your best pitchers gives up fucking 6 runs and then Ferrer gave up the other, for them to get that lead. So, again, Brian Wu lately hasn't been good. Logan Gilbert was terrible at the beginning of the year. Is starting to get better. Luis Castillo has been trash for a long fucking time, right? George Kirby has been great overall. And Emerson Hancock has actually been pretty fucking good. And we had the meltdown with Mooney and Ferrer where we were up 6-2 against the Padres and they scored 5 in the 9th. And Jose Ferrer kind of being the reason why we lose games lately, it's not ideal. The whole reason we traded Harry Ford for Ferrer is for him to be a better version of Gabe Spire. But unfortunately, it looks like, they're both equally not very good. It's like we got two lefties, but I don't trust either one of them. And it feels like Ferrer and Spire fuck up more than play well. And again, Brash injured on the injured list for 2 weeks. Really, we have Edward Bizzardo is the only guy that we can trust now, Alex Hoppe. So we got Bizzardo and we got Hoppe. And then other than that, and then we just pray if we're actually ahead in the game and Mooney comes out there that we'll get the good version of Mooney. So we have a couple guys I feel that we can trust, but a lot right now that are very, very shaky. So, again, but too many guys, especially guys like Cal Raleigh, not being able to produce. And obviously Cole Young normally steps up, but one of those rare games that, he goes 0 for 4 and, hopefully things will be better. But again, I, do think that we have a very good chance to be able to rebound and respawn tomorrow on my birthday. Got to get a win on the birthday, right? And again, I think we can win tomorrow and we can win on Sunday. We just got to be able to dig deep and find a way. And, normally 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits usually puts us position to compete and possibly win. But when your starting pitcher, Brian Wu gives up 7 runs in 3 innings against the Cardinals and then fucking 6 runs today, hard to win a game. And, the Royals always play us tough. It's not like it's always easy against this team. They're just like the fucking Angels and the Athletics. They're always a fucking thorn in our side, regardless if they're 12-19, now 13-19, or if they were 19-13. It really doesn't matter. You throw the record out the window. Certain teams just know how to play against us. And, again, I'm glad that we're not the worst hitting team in baseball now, but now we have to worry about starting pitching and the bullpen. And the defense has overall been great this season, and again, hitting was terrible. Now we're good at hitting. Now defense is great. So we have 2 categories where we're really, really good, right? With hitting and defense. But now we have to worry about starting pitching and obviously the bullpen, unless we're talking about George Kirby, Emerson Hancock, Alex Hoppe, and Edward Bizzardo. So we got a couple starters and a couple guys in the pen that we can trust, and then the rest are, somewhat shaky, and some are just not good, like Castillo. So, well, we'll see where it goes. Again, definitely a tough loss, to only lose by 1, especially, when we got a run in the 5th, a run in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. But we weren't able to get anything in the 8th and the 9th. And usually when we win big games is when we end up getting, those big runs in the 8th and the 9th inning. So I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very much. Shout out to the 20, 30 plus people that subbed to the channel. Shout out to Isaac with the 20, Flying Monkey with the 10, and another 10, and another 10, and another 20, Gentle with a 20, and Captain with a 10er to hit the goals there. So I appreciate that very much. And again, I'm looking forward to the birthday stream tomorrow to get a little payback and revenge. And I know that we can do it. So I believe it's Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow. So I have faith, that we can get the job done there. And hopefully we'll be able to win on Sunday as well. Well, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very much. And again, hopefully we'll be able to, do a little bit better tomorrow and Sunday. Got to win it for Rick Riz. Final score, Kansas City Royals 7, Seattle Mariners 6. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Tridents up, and I'm out. Go Mariners.